A soggy Saturday afternoon has turned into a comfortable Saturday night in Houston, and it sets the scene for the Houston Baptist Huskies to play their first ever home football game. We've got it, HBU versus Oklahoma Bison, coming up straight ahead. Hi everybody, welcome into Crusaders Stadium on the campus of Straight Jesuit College Prep in Houston, Texas. Saturday night football here on the Legacy Sports Network, and the first ever home game for the HBU Huskies. They take on the Oklahoma Baptist Bison tonight, and they come in tonight off a nice win a couple of weekends ago. Hi everybody, Lonnie King and along with Jeff Power. Jeff, this is going to be an interesting night, not just because it's the first night, but because the Huskies are on a little bit of a roll.
They are on a roll. 52-28 winners over Wayland Baptist. In fact, that 24-0 is what really stood out in the second half. Vic Shealy, very proud of that, said he didn't want to change the game plan in the second half because he knew the game plan was right. He just needed the players to execute. They did that. They got out there and picked up a big victory over Wayland Baptist. First win in school history. And, you know, Kadarius Baker wasn't even the starter in the first week. He's out of Navasota. He has not only led the Rattlers to the 3A Division II state title, got those extra 6 games in, you know.
Yeah.
And now he is the starting quarterback for the Huskies.
And he led a very balanced offensive attack last week. Over 600 yards of offense, almost split evenly pass and run, and he was a vital part of that.
Yeah, he certainly was. A couple of touchdown passes through the air, as you had mentioned, over 300 yards passing. Just very impressive. A lot of poise for this young man. In fact, we got a chance to catch up with him and the HBU Huskies. Here is a preview of tonight's game. The Houston Baptist Huskies football team is coming off their first victory in school history. HBU outscored Wayland Baptist 24-0 in the second half for a 52-28 victory in Plainview, Texas. Since coming off the bench in Game 1 against Sam Houston State, Navasota's Kadarius Baker got the start at quarterback against the Pioneers and completed 16 of 23 passes for 262 yards and 2 touchdowns. Confidence is key for Baker heading into the Oklahoma Baptist game.
Going into that game, I just felt like if I just came out and did everything I was coached to do and just play for the team and just play for the coach and everybody that's behind me and just come out and just try to get us a W. And when we got that W, it just felt like, you know, there was a lot of motivation going into our first home game, just go out and get another win, just do something special.
Baker's favorite target was University of Houston transfer Darian Lazard, who caught 7 passes for 118 yards and a touchdown. B.J. Kelly rushed for 182 yards on 26 carries and a TD, while Craig Bell Jr. scored 3 touchdowns on 87 yards rushing, as he and Kelly averaged over 6 yards per carry behind the Husky offensive line. Balance will be key going up against OBU.
If you can run the ball and pass the ball, defense doesn't know what to do. So when they're running the ball hard and we can do play action and throw over the top of the defense, it just makes it harder on them. So when they ran the ball hard or we made good passes, it just opened up both plays.
For Kadarius, I think he understands he's got a good quality talent level there at the skill positions on offense. And, you know, so part of being a great quarterback, too, is just learning how to be able to, you know, throw it to the open guy, make the right decisions, and let those guys make plays.
Not only is it the home opener for Houston Baptist University in their inaugural season, but they're facing an Oklahoma Baptist team loaded with players from the state of Texas.
Everybody recruits Texas. You know, that means that if you play out of state, you can play against Texas kids too. You know, and there's enough players in Texas to feed the nation almost.
It's great to see them and everything, but I mean, knowing that you've played them before just helps that much more. I mean, you know how they play and if you know the player.
Kicker Travis Shinn out of Rockwall is in the record books with the first field goal in HBU history, and this game against OBU could come down to a field goal. Husky head coach Vic Shealy says some FBS talented players who have transferred to Oklahoma Baptist will have to be contained.
You know, they are very athletic. They've got a tailback, a kid by the name of last name Fields that transferred from SMU. That's a very, very talented player. Was a highly recruited guy out of high school. They have a wide receiver that transferred from Colorado State that's very athletic. You know, so they've got a couple bounce back guys that give them some athletic punch, particularly on offense.
As for other keys, making the OBU offense one-dimensional and containing their ground game is a priority.
If we stop the running game and make them throw, we sure we can come out with victory.
The HBU crowd could be a factor as well, and this the first home game in school history at Crusader Stadium at Straight Jesuit.
When we just overfill the stands with a lot of HBU people, it just makes us feel like a very good home environment. Just everybody's cheering for us, so anything that we do, we just got to do it for the crowd.
With the Huskies, Jeff Power with your pregame report.
And we're back here at Crusader Stadium, just about set to go here as the Huskies will kick it off here in their first ever home game. And this season they will be playing, Jeff, 3 of their 4 home games right here on the campus of Straight Jesuit, not far, about 3 miles from the HBU campus. So practically right here on campus they're getting this game underway tonight.
And it is just good to have football here in the southwestern part of the country here, and a chance to see HBU in those brand new uniforms with the blue tops, the white helmets there, white pants trimmed in orange, and taking on an Oklahoma Baptist team today. Let's get it going.
Marty Scarberry, the sophomore out of Victorville, California, gets a toe into it. And it comes down 1 yard deep in the end zone, and Oklahoma Baptist will run it out across the 10, tripped up at the 12-yard line. And on the return for the Bison, Eugene Estes, the freshman out of Klein Oak High School, local product here, carries it out. And here's the starters.
Yeah, Cale Grauer will get the start for the OSU Bison. Watch out for him. 490 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, but 5 interceptions. That could be key. Jordan Barnes, he is the OBU running back. He is another good one. Watch out for him as well.
Huskies hope that they will add to that interception total here tonight. They work from the spread offense, pistol formation, running back in behind Grauer, and he wants to throw on first down. Looks over the middle, has a receiver down the middle of the field, and good coverage that time by Cody Moncure, and the pass falls incomplete.
Yeah, Cody Moncure, a 6'2", 185-pound safety out of Richmond, Texas, played at Travis. He's a good one. Here is the HBU Huskies. Check out the defense here. Cameron Lequac, Austin Holly, Kafu Tua, Keith Ewing, Garrett Dolan, Terrell Brown III, John Wesby, Prince Sam, Taylor Thompson, Cody Moncure, and Jahalen Norris.
2nd down and 10. Ball inside the 15-yard line. Here's a handoff, carrying it to the right side of the formation and stretched out on the play is Darrell Fields, 6'1" sophomore out of Medill that you heard Coach Shealy talking about in the pregame package. He gets out to the 14-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down. We'll call it 9 yards to go. They need to get out to the 23.
Prince Sam on the tackle there, the 6'2", 209-pound cornerback. He is a freshman out of Allen, Texas.
Same formation again, 2 receivers to either side. Hash mark near sideline is the placement of the ball. Pass is thrown and incomplete. There's a flag down. This may be an offsides against the Huskies. We'll see.
And that was 3rd down, so this could be a big call. Let's get the official word.
It's going to be a defensive penalty, so give them 5 extra yards.
Hard to see the offside. Sometimes a defender might line up in the neutral zone. That could be the call there.
Must have been, because as you said, no movement there. They step off 5 yards, though, and now it's going to be 3rd and 4 from the 19-yard line. Just underway, 14:06 to go here in the first quarter. Glad you're along for the ride tonight. Grauer, empty backfield, has 5 receivers split out. Throws a pass out in the flat. It's complete at the 21-yard line, maybe the 22. And it's caught by the fullback, Cy Stallard. But it will be 4th down as he comes up a couple of yards shy.
And it looks like Oklahoma Baptist will bring the punt team on, so a good first defensive stand here for HBU. We'll see what their special teams can do now.
Well, I'm sure that makes the coaches very happy to get those 3 downs and out, even with the 5-yard penalty there. Ethan Fry drops back in deep formation for the punt return as they set it up. On to kick it away, it is Jared Haynes, a freshman out of Allen, Texas. And the kick goes off the side of his foot, and actually that is Cooper Coons, a freshman out of Tuttle, Oklahoma. And this is going to set up HBU in an excellent starting field position. We'll see where they spot it.
There is a flag down on the field. Roughing the kicker. That's not what you want to see.
Wow.
Yeah, automatic first down for Oklahoma Baptist. Tough break right there.
So just when it looked like the Huskies might start their first offensive possession on the Bison side of the field, they're going to have to send the defense back out there. Watch it again.
Yeah, let's take a look at this and find out what happened. The ball definitely going off the side of the foot, but you've got to control yourself there. And I tell you, that's a tough call.
That was the blocking back that knocked over
the blocking back ran into his own punter there, but HBU penalized for it.
Wow. Well, they set up with 2 backs this time, and a handoff. It's Fields up the gut, and he's out across the 25 to about the 27-yard line, maybe a yard or 2 on the carry. 2nd and long to come.
The official must have thought that the blocking back was just being pushed into the punter. But an opportunity here for the HBU defense to stand tall again.
Absolutely, and you test the character of this young defensive unit early in this game. Grauer again from the pistol, lines up with an H-back off to the left side of the formation, looks that way and throws out of the backfield, had Stallard, and he just flat dropped the pass.
Cody Moncure there with the big hit out of Travis, and he just laid the wood right there on the shot. Take a look at this play one more time. Grauer dropping back, but Moncure very quick. I think there's no question right there that the footsteps were heard, and that will cause anyone to, take your eye off the ball for a split second. That's what Cy Stallard did, and he ends up dropping that ball.
Another 3rd and long situation here, similar to the first set of downs. Grauer pump fake, wants to throw across the middle, overthrows his intended receiver. That time it looked like he was trying to find Derek Sorowski, the leading receiver on this team, but well overthrown, and it'll bring up 4th down again.
So technically 2 really good defensive stands there for HBU in the opening series.
And we see the punting unit head back out there, and again it is Cooper Coons. He wears the number 13 and is listed as their backup punter. He's a freshman out of Tuttle, Oklahoma, and also listed as one of the quarterbacks on the depth chart for this Bison team, but he will set it up to kick it away. Good snap from center, and again the kick is angled off the side of his foot, and it bounds out at about the 43-yard line. And so in spite of the penalty that gave Oklahoma Baptist an extra series, Huskies still are going to start out in very good field position.
Let's talk about some of the team leaders here. There's Kadarius Baker, 317 yards already, passing 2 touchdowns. But the story's been the ground game. B.J. Kelly kind of come out of nowhere this year, 223 yards rushing, a touchdown on 39 carries. And if the name Darian Lazard looks familiar, he's a transfer from the University of Houston, 9 receptions, 124 yards, and a touchdown. Had the longest play from scrimmage last week, 70-yard touchdown against Wayland Baptist.
For one of the 7 touchdowns the Huskies delivered in that game. Baker from the shotgun wants to throw right out of the pocket and is hit from behind, and that pass is picked off. That is intercepted, and we will see it.
And it is an interception there. The ball obviously tipped there. Baker was back to pass, but under a lot of pressure, and Brynden Pitzer gets the interception there. But take a look at it one more time. The ball just seemed to be knocked away. I was worried for a minute it might even be considered a fumble, but it was null and void because it was intercepted either way. So
yeah,
Pitzer, Johnny on the spot right there making the grab.
Number 50, Kimes Gilbert, a freshman out of Oklahoma City, got there from the edge, one of the defensive ends, and got a piece of the arm as Baker was trying to launch that one. So a big turnover here. And instead of forcing an interception, the Huskies give up the first turnover of the ballgame, and Grauer and company right back out there. Dodges a would-be tackler, throws it down the middle of the field, well underthrown though. He was pressured, good defensive pressure up front by the Huskies that time, and the pass falls incomplete.
And I think that's one of the keys today for Houston Baptist, getting a lot of pressure on the quarterback. We mentioned it in the pregame. Cale Grauer, that 490 yards passing and 6 touchdowns, impressive, but he has 5 interceptions also. Get a little extra pressure on him, make him start thinking about those picks.
From the pistol formation, Fields in behind him. 2 receivers to either side. Swing and pass out to the receiver. That's Sorowski. Makes the catch at the line of scrimmage and then takes it forward inside the 40 down to about the 39-yard line, and that's going to be about a 5-yard gain.
John Wesby out at Clear Lake on the tackle right there. You heard him in our pregame report. He's one of those players that's kind of come in and grab the attention of Vic Shealy. He is a junior college transfer from Navarro Junior College. Got to have a few JCs on the team and mix them in with all those freshmen, but no question about it, HBU is loaded with freshman talent.
2nd down and 5, and there's our check at 3rd and 5, and there's Fields trying to stretch his body forward for a couple of yards, but good defensive presence up front by the Huskies, and they hold him to just a 1-yard gain down to the 38.
Yeah, Kafotua with a big play right there. He's at a Bell High School in Bedford, Texas, holding on for dear life, and it'll force another 4th down here. This is the 3rd 4th down here in the early going for Oklahoma Baptist.
This one kind of out there in no man's land, outside the 30, inside the 50, and you often see a team opting to go for it here, and that's what Oklahoma Baptist will do. Send out 3 receivers to the right side of the formation. Empty set in the backfield. Now Grauer wants to throw across the middle and incomplete. And that was intended that time for Jacob Cheatham out of Miami, Oklahoma, and the ball will go over downs to the Huskies.
Yeah, the Husky faithful very proud of this defensive squad so far. Very impressive. Already here in the early going, time of possession has just, without a doubt, been on the side of Oklahoma Baptist. All but one play so far run by Oklahoma Baptist, but thanks to the HBU defense, I might add.
So now the Huskies send the offense back out there for technically the 2nd series, actually just the 2nd play to come here, as Baker was intercepted on the first offensive possession. Lines up this time with B.J. Kelly off his right shoulder and hands it to him on 1st down. Wiggles his way out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. 4 yards on the carry, and it'll bring up 2nd and 6.
One of the jobs for Vic Shealy is to figure out who his starters are, who his key players will be. Jonathan Fleming was the original starter. Kadarius Baker ended up coming in after the initial game against Sam Houston State. But another player was B.J. Kelly, because Craig Bell Jr. was the original starter, but it was B.J. Kelly that showed a little bit more against Sam Houston State and earned that starting nod in the backfield.
Heavy set, 2 tight ends in this time, and they hand it off to Kelly. This time swings it around the right side, goes outside the tackle and carries up across the 45 to the 46.
And there is the Bison defense right there. Oklahoma Baptist University loaded with some good players as well, some junior college transfers. They're in their 1st year of football.
Eugene Estes, cornerback, a freshman out of Klein Oak High School, played for David Smith out there on the north side of Houston.
Not uncommon for teams from Oklahoma to go into the state of Texas and recruit a lot of players. The state is so big, and obviously fewer people living in Oklahoma.
3rd and short. Baker swings a pass out to Ethan Fry in the slot, has a 1st down inside Bison territory down to the 41-yard line. They'll move the chains and keep the drive alive.
Ethan Fry out of Cedar Park High School. He actually had a touchdown in the state championship game last year for Cedar Park as they won the 4A Division II state title. He lined up in a Wildcat formation and scored. But in this particular game, he makes his reception, and he's also the return man. He's kind of making himself very noticeable for Vic Shealy and this coaching staff for HBU.
Interesting to me that the Huskies have shown this 2 tight end set. They've got both Max Brown and Kenneth Bibbins tight to the line of scrimmage. Power set, and they hand it off to Kelly again, straight up the gut. Not much there, though, this time. He gets inside the 40 down to the 39.
Yeah, B.J. Kelly out of Waco making the most of his opportunities, but Craig Bell Jr. will get into this game pretty quickly as well, but no room right here. Kelly trying to find the hole. Might have wanted to skip to the outside there. It looked like there was a little more room to the outside to the right.
2nd and 8. Clock rolls down toward the 8-minute mark here in the opening period of play. No score on the board yet. Huskies in their first ever home game in football program history, driving in Oklahoma Baptist territory. Baker from the shotgun, option keeper, and he's going to turn it up inside the 35, down to about the 31-yard line. Nice carry by the freshman out of Navasota.
Last week, when we got a chance to see Kadarius Baker against Wayland Baptist, he was running that play but pitching off. I think when you watch the game film, you might think that Baker doesn't want to run it too much, but look at this beautiful fake. And you have to commit on defense to the running back right there, and Baker doing a nice job of sticking with the fake and holding on to the ball and picking up close to a first down.
It is third down. They just need a yard, though. Need to get it down to the 30-yard line. Two-back set, and Craig Bell has jumped into the lineup. Number 3 gets a handoff this time, has a first down, cuts back into the middle of the field inside the 20-yard line, still on his feet, and it takes about 5 or 6 white jerseys to get him to the ground, and he's got a first down for the HBU Huskies.
Craig Bell Jr. out of Sweeney, Texas. He had 87 yards rushing last week, but he had 3 touchdowns. He's kind of the bell cow around the goal lines. He's got that extra power. Look at the leg drive right here, making tacklers miss, finding a way to pick up an extra few yards after the original contact. That's always important. That old yak, they call it.
Yeah, 1st and 10 in the red zone for the Huskies. Baker again with the two-back set. 2 receivers, both split out to the left side. Handed off to Kelly, slips an arm tackle, and he's down to about the 10-yard line. That's going to be a 5-yard gain on first down. They had much success last week running the football against Wayland Baptist. I know they'd like to continue that tonight.
Yeah, balance is key. Their offensive line, we didn't give them as much credit as they deserve. They were extremely impressive, especially in the second half, outscoring Wayland Baptist 24-0 in that second half. Both sides, really, the offensive line and the defensive line. They got a lot of pressure on that defense as well.
Knocking on the door here, 2nd and 5. Rolling down to the 6-minute mark in the first half. Single back, and it's going to be Kelly. Turns it to the left side. Followed a block, but he stacked up pretty quickly. That hole closed up, and he's dropped it about the 8-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 3 to go to keep this one alive.
Don't want to settle for field goals down here. They did a really good job in the red zone last year. Only had to kick 1 field goal. Just punched in a lot of touchdowns. That's what you like to see. Get inside that red zone, find a way to score. Offensive coordinator here doing a nice job. Scott Smith, if the name sounds familiar, Rockwall High School. Coach there, now joins HBU.
Yeah, and he and now he wants a timeout on the sideline. A little confusion there on the offense with 5:18 to go. Scott Smith, was part of the coaching staff for SMU when they came back from the death penalty, and so he's got some experience with startups.
Yeah, that's important. It's important to have that situation set up where you can, make sure you get the right call played on 3rd and 2.
We'll take a quick break when we come back. Here in the first quarter, 5:18 to go, 0-0 is our score.
Time waits for no one. And those who look only to their past are rarely ready for their future. Never underestimate our ability, because after all, we are Texans.
Back at Crusader Stadium on the campus of Straight Jesuit College Prep. Saturday night football, HBU Huskies football, brought to you by the Baptist Church Loan Corporation. And it is 3rd down and 2 yards to go at the 7-yard line for your HBU Huskies. And a very important 3rd down play here deep in the Bison end of the field. Baker wants to throw, looks across the middle, has a receiver, and it's incomplete. Goes off the hands of Ahia Nacho.
Yeah, he was open. Almost made a spectacular play right there. Couldn't quite come up with it. But a nice pass here by Kadarius Baker. You see he looks off the receiver to the right, fires across the middle, just a little bit too high, but almost a fantastic play right there.
Davis Ahianacho, 6'4", sophomore transfer out of West Texas A&M. He's from Westside High School, but now it's 4th down. Marty Scarberry on to attempt a field goal here and missed it. Wide to the right, and so a drive, a nice drive by the Husky offense is going to end up without points on the board. And so still no score, as we will see the offense for Oklahoma Baptist head back out onto the field.
Can't blame that one on the wind. There's really not much of a wind factor, but there was definitely rain in the area. Let's look at the spot right here. It was a good clean spot. Just hit it to the right.
Travis Shinn drew the kicking duties in Plainview a couple of weeks ago. And Scarberry here tonight, out there early in this one, doing the kickoffs and also on that field goal attempt. So both kickers here early in the season have gotten some looks from Coach Shealy.
Beautiful stadium here, Crusader Stadium on the campus of Strake Jesuit College Prep. It's a good-looking field, very similar to the field over at HBU. They really like that surface. They get a chance to practice on it every day. Will be the home stadium, of course, for 2014. Of course, HBU will also have a game coming up here in the near future against Abilene Christian University, that game being played over at the Houston Dynamo Stadium. So a chance to come out there around the downtown area and show support for Houston Baptist. That game will be over at BBVA Compass Stadium when Abilene Christian comes to town on October 12th. That's a 7:30 kickoff.
And in case you don't know it, you can log on to HBUHuskies.com for ticket information, individual games, and still time to get some season packages as well.
It is a 7-game schedule. Next year, HBU will play a full Southland Conference schedule. That's important. Of course, the Southland Conference with quite a few teams from the state of Texas. Abilene Christian now just joining the Southland Conference. Lamar is in there out of Beaumont. And you've got a lot of schools from Louisiana. And, of course, Sam Houston State had the success they've had, McNeese State.
We won't be in a hurry to see those guys again.
No, not those teams.
Kel Grauer on first down hands it off, and on the carry for Oklahoma Baptist, backup running back into the ball game, Jordan Barnes out of Van Alstyne, Texas.
Yeah, Jordan Barnes, almost surprised he didn't get the start in this particular game. He is their leading rusher, but we knew he'd get a chance to get in here quickly. But he loses his footing right there and falls down. The turf is wet, no question. We had some rain earlier. It was a downpour, but in Houston, that's like every day, right?
It's turned into a nice evening here on Saturday night. 2nd and long. Grauer wants to throw, pumps once, looks downfield, and Cody Moncure again. Nice man-to-man coverage on his receiver. He's drawn Sorowski, the leading receiver, and stayed with him stride for stride.
Well, I think worth noting, not only did Cody Moncure do a nice job there defending the play, but a nice no call by the officiating crew. A lot of times you'll see him throw a flag in a situation like that, thinking it's pass interference, but no question about it, Moncure just playing the man, and the ball was underthrown.
Cameron Lacroix checks back in, number 82 on the right side of your screen there. Kafo Tua and Austin Holly along the front with him, and on 3rd and long, Grauer rolls out, wants to throw, has a receiver, and it's incomplete, out of bounds. Nice try by Jacob Cheatham to bring that one in, but he couldn't keep the feet in bounds, and so it'll be 4th down and 13.
Yeah, so Cheatham was out of bounds, another 3 and out here for the HBU defense. So far, the Husky defense looking sharp.
Very nice job. Ethan Fry out there again, and already the 3rd time that Oklahoma Baptist is set up in punt formation here in the first 10.5 minutes of this ball game. And a whistle and a flag before the snap. Play clock was at 3. It can't be a delay. Well, perhaps I'm wrong. He does signal delay. I saw 3 seconds on the play clock. But they will back them up 5.
Your captains for today's game, Garrett Dolan, he's a linebacker here. Also, Darian Lazard, wide receiver. T.C. Jones, offensive lineman. Jahalen Norris, he's a captain on the defensive back side. some of the more experienced players here for HBU.
Ethan Fry stands at the Bison 46-yard line. Pressure comes on the punt, but Coons gets it away, and it's going to wobble toward the Bison sideline, and it is bumped out of bounds right around midfield. We'll see where the official spot goes. Looks like it's going to be at the 48-yard line. So once again, the Huskies will start out with very good field position here.
Yeah, that's important. You want to have good field position, set your offense up in business. Just need to put some points on the board this time around. And here is your quarterback matchup here. Cale Grauer, we did talk about the 490 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, but 5 picks so far. Has not looked real impressive for the OBU Bison. Kadarius Baker has looked good. You see the 317 total yards, 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception so far this year, but a very high completion rate, 23 of 39. We'll see if maybe HBU might go a little more towards the quarterback matchup here and take advantage of what they can get through the air. A lot of running on the ground so far, but the receivers have been open. HBU is loaded with receivers led by Darian Lazard, the University of Houston transfer, but also some of the other top players here for HBU on that receiver position. Of course, Ethan Fry, Terrence Hawkins, he's got great size, Mitchell Buick, Wesley Lewis, and Zach Lazarine. These are all top-notch receivers. The first couple of games, we really got a chance to see what these HBU receivers can do, and don't be surprised if next time around when they get closer to the end zone, if they don't put one up in the corner and go to one of their taller receivers.
This time as they come to the line of scrimmage, they send out Kenneth Bibbins, split out wide to the left side. Lazard in the slot to that side as well. Max Brown, the tight end, is tight to the right side of the formation, and 2 backs in the backfield with Baker. Kelly off his left shoulder. Craig Bell off his right shoulder, and they look to the sideline. They'll line up at the line of scrimmage, work from the no huddle, but they'll take their time and get the play called from the sideline before each snap. Baker hands it off to Kelly, and he tries to wind his way through some traffic, gets down to about the 46-yard line. That's a couple of yards on first down, and it takes us down to the 4-minute mark.
And for those of you who aren't familiar with this type of offense, what Scott Smith will tell you is, hey, we run up to the line of scrimmage. If the defense isn't ready, we might snap it right away. I almost thought they were going to snap it right there. Looked like the OBU defense wasn't quite set. That's why you run up there. If you see that they're not ready to go, you snap the ball. You do have a play set up right there. The question is that the play you want? If you can call something better and audible from the sidelines, that's what they'll do.
2 backs set again. Play fake and swing it out to Kelly. Gets it out on the edge inside the 30, 20, bumped out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. Biggest play from scrimmage here in the first quarter for the Huskies.
Great looking play right there. Getting Kelly out into that open field is key. He's got great speed. He's a very determined runner. Had some blocking downfield and really did a nice job of using his blockers and picking up not only a first down, but all the way down to inside the 20-yard line. But we do have a flag on the play, unfortunately, for HBU.
Wow, and it's going to be a hold on the Huskies back at about the 43-yard line. So had to be one of the receivers up the field a couple of yards out there on the edge that sprung Kelly for the big gain. And now we've seen a couple of penalties tonight come back and bite the Huskies early in this one. Watch it again.
Yeah, that's always the danger when you've got a man in open space. Sometimes the receivers who are blocking downfield might get called for a hold. It might have been on Darian Lazard right there. Could have also been on one of the other receivers there blocking downfield. So tough to say, but got to keep your hands in front of the player and not try to grab that shoulder or the shirt. So that's what they're looking for.
Instead of a first down in the red zone, it's 2nd and 15, and we've got a whistle prior to the snap. It's going to be a false start and back up the Huskies 5 more yards.
You know, Lonnie, we talked about off camera about whether or not your team is prepared mentally in certain games. You come off your first win in school history. You look on paper, you think you've got a good matchup, in this case against OBU. Right now, penalty is a bit of a problem. I mean, the way you practice during the week is the way you're going to play on Saturday. And if they didn't have the great practices during the week, they may not have the performance they're looking for, at least in the early part of the game.
Well, they may need another halftime wake-up call. Baker wants to launch one downfield on 2nd and 20, and had Lazard down there, but in double coverage, he could not break free, and the pass is incomplete.
Led him just a little bit too far. As you saw right there, Baker has a great arm. He can unleash it. There is a little bit of a breeze to his back right now, and that ball kind of got up in the jet stream and sailed on him.
Third down now. They need to get inside the 40 on Oklahoma Baptist side of the field.
I know what you're thinking, Lonnie. Next time Baker comes up and that defense for OBU is not set, snap the ball. That's twice now. I was thinking they're not set up. That's why you run that play.
Sets up a middle screen to Fry. Bobbled it, but hangs on, and he's going to pick up the first down. Has a blocker in front inside the 30, down at the 23-yard line. Nicely designed play and executed to perfection.
Great call by Scott Smith. That's what you run on a 3rd and long situation. Run a screen pass. It's usually guaranteed to pick up 10 yards, but if you can pick up a first down when you've got some long yardage to go, hey, that is just gravy. Look at the run here. Nice job by Ethan Fry, taking what the defense will give you all the way down to the 22-yard line.
1st and 10 from that spot. Clock's going to roll under 2 minutes before the next snap, and the Huskies again deep in Oklahoma Baptist into the field. Craig Bell in at running back. Takes the handoff, runs to the left, finds a block, and now is wrapped up and dropped. And that again is Kimes Gilbert, the freshman out of Oklahoma City, who wrapped him up.
Well, and you've heard that there's some great wrestlers in the state of Oklahoma, and Kimes Gilbert right there, maybe he was a good wrestler back in high school because that looked like a wrestling move right there.
See the coaches in the booth next door, they thought maybe he grabbed a little face mask.
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of hard to flip someone over without grabbing something.
2nd down, we'll call it 10. No gain on the play by Bell. He's still in the backfield off the right shoulder of Baker. Quick pass out in the flat to Lazard. Takes it inside the 10, down to the 5, and dropped at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal for the Huskies from that spot, but we've got a flag on the opposite side of the field again.
Before we get to the flag, let's just talk about what a great play. Darian Lazard looked right over and let Kadarius Baker know that, hey, I'm open. No one's on me. Get it to me, but unfortunately it's coming back.
Well, and the sad thing is whatever happened had absolutely nothing to do with the play.
And no one on Lazard. You see he was just wide open. He looks right at Baker and says, there's no one on me. Get it to me. Good heads-up play there by Lazard. Just tough to see the yellow flag coming out again here in the 1st quarter.
And a personal foul, 15-yard penalty. I think they called it an illegal chop block there on probably one of the HBU receivers. But it is 2nd down and 25 to go now from the 37-yard line. 3 receivers out to the left side of the formation. Baker still has a football, waggles out to his right, wants to throw down the sideline. Wesley Lewis, and it's almost picked off. Check it, Darian Lazard was over there as well, and he and Lewis were very close to each other.
Someone might have run that route just a little bit off, but good pass here by Baker. Hey, if you got 2 guys downfield and they're kind of close to each other, just put it up in that corner, see what you can find. That's one of those plays where I think Lazard was coming back to help his quarterback out, get back on that side of the field so the pass could be a little bit of an easier one for Baker. But nonetheless, it's now 3rd and 25.
And he came all the way from the left side of the formation to get all the way to the opposite side of the field. And again, changing personnel on the defensive side.
Running guys out on the field here. Got to snap that ball.
3rd down and long. They need to get down to the 12-yard line. Swing a pass out to Bell. Bell's got blockers in front, inside the 20, and he's very close to the sticks. It's going to be maybe a yard or 2 shy, but needed 25 and got 23. We'll see what they're going to do here. Remember, we've already had a field goal miss here early in the 1st quarter.
Yeah, great call right there again, and Baker doing a nice job of leading his running back with the nice pass, more or less like letting him know, hey, get downfield. You've got some space. Put that ball about 5 yards out in front of him. It looks like Baker and the boys from HBU are going to go for it.
And the home crowd is up on its feet. They want their team to convert here on 4th and short. Swing pass out to Fry. He's going to be very close, very, very close. looked like he might have had an opening to slide forward and then tried to turn it back outside, and it's going to be close to the mark.
Well, nice second effort there, just picking up the extra 2 yards just to make it close. But it is going to go over on downs. Let's take a look at this play one more time. So Fry is open. Baker immediately gets it out to him, but they need to pick up a couple of yards. You either cut to the right or cut to the left. Right there you're thinking, okay, they definitely aren't going to get it, but he fought his way out of it, just comes up a little bit short, about a yard shy of the first down. So a turnover and downs.
Well, another good drive by the Husky offense. Another drive, though, that comes away without points on the board, and so Oklahoma Baptist has to feel a little bit fortunate right now to still be tied at no score in this game.
No question. HBU has outplayed him up to this point, but the only thing that really matters is the zeros on the scoreboard.
Grauer from the pistol hands it off, and that is Jordan Barnes, and he's out near the 20-yard line, and that'll be the final play of the first quarter here. We've run down the first 15 minutes of this ball game with no score on the board. So the Huskies in their first ever home game, scoreless after 1 quarter of play. And when we come back, second quarter action for you right here on the Legacy Sports Network.
Break my arm.
Need to know if my pain is something more.
I know I can trust Neighbors Emergency Center to save me.
They save my time.
They'll save me from missing the championship.
They'll save me from missing my meeting.
They'll save me from missing the chance to walk her down the aisle someday.
They save me.
He saves me.
You save me.
Neighbors Emergency Center saves lives.
Neighbors Emergency Center. Care that counts. Experience that matters.
No score here as we come back to Crusader Stadium on the campus of Straight Jesuit College Prep. Just a short 3-mile trek from the campus at HBU, and the Huskies have been shuttling fans over from the campus onto the grounds here. A lot of tailgating going on here, and a lot of festivities over at campus as well here on Family Weekend. And on the first play of the second quarter, Jordan Barnes makes the carry out near first down yardage, but it's going to be third down and about a yard to go.
Yeah, Jordan Barnes out of Van Alstyne, Texas. It's up around just west of the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Third and short here. Big play for the Husky defense if they want to get off the field quickly here. Grauer from the pistol. Low snap, gets it to Barnes, and good penetration. No, keeper faked me out. I thought he gave it to Barnes, but Grauer keeps it, and he's going to pick up a first down.
Yeah, I was ready to talk about Adrian Barrigan, a great play there on defense, but made a great play on the quarterback who didn't have the ball, unfortunately for him.
So I believe that's the first down of the ball game. Well, the first down non-penalty variety for Oklahoma Baptist. Handed off to Barnes, and he takes it to the right side. This time plows his way forward out across the 35 to the 36, and the offensive line now has opened up a couple of nice holes for Oklahoma Baptist.
And Barnes, he's a hard runner right there. You see him in traffic, just being very elusive. And Vic Shealy mentioned that last game against Wayland Baptist, he didn't think his defense did a good enough job of wrapping up on their tackles, and we're starting to see some of that tonight. Got to find a better way to just wrap up when you make that hit.
Ball at the 36-yard line. And a handoff up the middle. It's Jordan Barnes again, and winds his way out across the 38 to the 39-yard line, and that second effort's going to get him another first down.
One of the key stats already from the first quarter is 4 penalties for 32 yards on HBU, and we're going to have to get that corrected here. And we do have an injured player on the field. Running through some of the statistics here from the first quarter. Craig Bell with 18 yards rushing, B.J. Kelly with 19, but perhaps the 72 yards passing for Kadarius Baker, that kind of stands out mainly on the screen passes, especially the 49-yarder to Ethan Fry, also a 23-yard screen to Craig Bell. Those have been the two most successful plays.
Coming off the field for the Huskies is Terrell Brown III. He was the leading tackler against Wayland Baptist, and he's walking off under his own steam. We hope that's a good sign.
Yeah, he's actually from Hightower High School, but played in Fresno as well.
Looks to be okay. He's shaking off a little hitch in his step, but he's off the field, and it's 1st and 10 for Oklahoma Baptist. Swing pass out from Grauer to Delay out in the slot, and he takes it out across the 40 to about the 42-yard line, a 3-yard pickup on 1st down.
So far, there's no question on the field. HBU has been really dominating both sides of the line of scrimmage, done a nice job. Penalties have hurt them, but it's a time to stay composed as a team. Things aren't going your way. You know there's a lot of pressure with it being the first home game in school history. You have to overcome it. Show some character.
2nd down and 7 from the 42. Handed off to Barnes. Looks to the left side of the line. And a good job that time by the Huskies to get in there and close that one up. Looked like Juan Trujillo, the linebacker, got in there.
Yeah, Juan Trujillo, he's out of Pearland, Texas. A freshman, 5'10", 200 pounds. That's the theme of the night, freshmen. Get used to it. A lot of freshmen on this HBU team. And that's how you start a program. I mean, just don't bring in a bunch of junior college transfers. Right. They have a 7-game schedule. Let's start from new, build it up.
3rd and 6. He got a yard on that last carry. Grauer wants to throw under pressure, has the ball tipped, and it hung up there, just floating in the air. No Husky could get to it, though, but it'll be 4th down and 6.
So a good defensive stand here for HBU once again. The Husky defensive side of the ball has been the story. The offense, they've moved the ball well inside the 20s. They just haven't been able to put it through. They had the missed field goal. Penalties hurt them at the 15-yard variety, the personal foul. Last time they had the ball. We'll see if we get this corrected.
Coons out there to punt. And a nice kick this time. It's going to come down, line drive to Fry, and Fry's going to take it right up the hash mark across the way and out across the 25 to the 26-yard line, and that's where the Huskies offense will set up shop.
So this is probably the worst field position of the game so far for HBU, but the way they've moved the ball in each particular possession, that hasn't seemed to be a problem. They like to spread them out at the 3 wide in this particular formation.
Davis Ahianacho split out wide to the left. Wesley Lewis out wide right. Darian Lazard in the slot to that side. Kelly the lone back, and the tight end is Max Brown, also set up to the right side of the formation, tight to the line.
You're going to take what the defense gives you. Darian Lazard lining up in that slot. He's been given about 10 yards right off the line. I'd just throw it right out there to him.
Handed off to Kelly instead. A hole opens up. He stretches it out to the corner, and he's going to be wrapped up as he gets out to the 30-yard line. Nice open field tackle by Oklahoma's Baptist that time. Gain of about 4 on the play, though.
Yeah, nice job right there by Jordan Wirt there on the tackle, just finding a way to break to the outside.
2nd down. We'll call it a long 5. Ball's just across the 30-yard line, and they need to get out to the 36.
Big size advantage for HBU on that offensive line. Look at the difference there.
Baker, play fake, has time in the pocket, wants to throw, has Wesley Lewis, and did he hang on to it?
Yes,
they say yes, he did. He makes the catch out at the 34-yard line. That's going to leave them about 2 yards shy of where they need to go for a 1st down, but it'll be 3rd and short now.
Wesley Lewis, one of those players I was telling you about, 6'6", 210, out of Leander Rouse High School. He's got that great size. Bottom of your screen, check out number 81 right here, hauling it in. Nice job with the hands, having to fight off the defender, make the catch. About 2 yards short of the first down, though. Big 3rd and 2.
Baker relays the call to his offensive line. Kelly off his right shoulder, gets the handoff, stacked up, bounces off the tackle, loses a football. It's loose on the turf. Looked like BJ might have gotten his hands back on it. The officials are into the pile there, and they're going to say it's 4th down.
Yeah, it was all Kelly could do to get back on the ball. Had the nice spin move. He's upset at himself, but he did at least manage to get back on it. And now HBU will punt.
Shannon Kelly meets him at the sideline. You see the coach talking to him.
Yeah, you see he's got the opening. He does a nice job of getting off the first spot, but I believe that was the play before right there. But either way, he did a nice job of falling back on the ball. Had to go back and fight for it.
David Duncan, the redshirt freshman out of Hyde Park Baptist High School in Austin, averaging about 41 yards on his kicks, gets a wobbly one off the side of his foot that time. And it's going to go out of bounds at the 46-yard line in Oklahoma Baptist territory. So Huskies benefited from some shanked punts in the first quarter, but now they give Oklahoma Baptist very good starting field position.
Yeah, football, one of those sports where if you let a team hang around long enough, they'll start believing in themselves, and the next thing you know, you've got yourself a battle. But right now, no need to be overconfident. I mean, HBU in their first year, as is OBU. Both teams trying to find themselves right now in the early going in this particular game. Stay composed, find a way to get the right play call in, and then execute that play. They've had the right call. They just haven't been always able to execute them. They've dropped the ball. They've had some penalties that have hurt them so far. And really, if you think about it, HBU's fortunate that OBU hasn't been able to take advantage of it.
Well, and, you know, it's a similar theme to what we saw in Plainview a couple of weekends ago. Of course, back in that first half, the teams were trading scores instead of kicking the ball back and forth to each other. But the coaches weren't happy with the execution in the first half last week either.
Yeah, good point right there, because the difference is last time it was offenses both running up and down the field against their defenses. This time it's the defenses doing a much better job against the offenses.
Well, I imagine there will be plenty to chat about here in 9 minutes and 32 football seconds. Hey, and be sure and stick with us at halftime. Very special guest coming up at the half. The president of HBU, Dr. Robert Sloan, is going to join us here in the booth at halftime. He has been the leader in this effort to bring football to the campus of Houston Baptist University, and we are pleased to have him join us at the break. Cale Grauer, pitch back. He goes to Fields. He gets to the edge, and there's a flag coming in. Nice carry for Fields. He picks up the first down, but this may come back. We may have a hold or an illegal block out on the edge out there.
Yeah, Darrell Fields out of Madill, Oklahoma, but looks like a personal foul, chop block. This one going against OBU.
Well, maybe it's just if you're going in that direction on offense, you get the penalties.
Yeah, the chop block, you're seeing it more and more, and it's getting called. Looking out for the safety of the players, trying to avoid those knee injuries that you see so often. Cuts careers short.
They step the foul off from the point of the infraction, which sends it back to the 38-yard line. 15 yards stepped off, but it's going to be first down and 18 from that spot because it was up the field a little bit. And Grauer from the pistol again. Two receivers out to the left side. Single receiver out wide right. Handed off to Fields. He goes right again, short side of the field and out across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. He gets 5 of the 18, and it'll be second down and 13 to go. Still no score here in the first half of play. Your Huskies have had a couple of scoring opportunities, red zone opportunities, and A missed field goal and a turnover on downs, and they are still scoreless here with 8:30 to go till halftime.
Well, I think Roger Henshaw and Brett Wieselmeyer have to be really pleased with what they've seen with their defense. They've done a nice job, both coordinators, with the right play calls.
Brower wants to pass on 2nd and long, throws downfield, and Wesby almost picked it off. John Wesby, good coverage that time on Sorowski. He got his hands on it, couldn't reel it in.
Wesby doing a nice job. Not as much pressure up front, so a little more time to deliver this pass. Wesby falls behind, but does a nice job of adjusting to the ball and gets a hand on it. Wesby out of Clear Lake, also Navarro Junior College. I believe it's Navarro is how they say it.
I believe you're right, yes. 3rd down, you talk about football in Texas. Junior colleges have a nice football tradition across the state.
Sure.
Here's a pass across the middle. It's Stallard lined up as a tight end that time. Let's check that number. Yes, it is. Number 88, Stallard makes a catch, and that's enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, and nice pass by Cale Grauer, kind of right in the splitting the hairs right there and picking up the 1st down. Good job by their tight end picking up the extra yardage to get that first.
Takes them to the 43 of HBU. 1st and 10 from that spot. And they want to throw again. Grauer swings it out, has a receiver hit right as he makes the catch. Cody Moncure there to put a tag on the receiver, Nico Simons, but he hangs on and gets 9 yards out of it.
Yeah, they've been given a little bit on this particular possession here for Oklahoma Baptist. This is a favorable situation, 2nd and 1 for the OBU offense.
Best drive of the night for the Bison, and Grauer again has a receiver. It's Simons, makes the catch in traffic and inside the 25. He's down to the 23-yard line, and that's another 1st down.
Nico Simons doing a nice job of getting open, finding a seam, and look at the pass once again. Cale Grauer, just a bullet in between 3 defenders.
Early in this game, we weren't seeing him throw with that zip on the football. But he's ready to throw for the 3rd consecutive down. This one he tries to lob up to the corner of the end zone for delay.
Chalk that one up to good defensive pressure.
Good job out on the edge by Wesby on the coverage, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Anytime you have all 4 of your defensive linemen in the backfield in a matter of 2 seconds, that's some good pressure. You want to disrupt things. That's the idea. And you don't want to have to blitz to do it. If you can get the linemen to do it for you, that's a good thing. 3 down linemen on this set, 4th one creeping up, 5th one, now they might blitz. Here we go.
Empty backfield, Grauer throws across the middle, and it's picked off. Intercepted, and this time it is Taylor Thompson who makes the pick.
Taylor Thompson out of Belleville. We got a chance to spotlight him in our last broadcast, and Taylor Thompson stepping up big, but again, it was the pressure up front that led to that interception. You can see the nice job here. And Grauer, he has thrown now 6 picks so far this year. Ball might have been tipped.
May have been, or else it was a wounded duck floating out there, and Thompson knew what to do with it.
Belleville, about 50 miles west of here. Just head out to Shealy on I-10 and go north on 36, and you're in Belleville. Not too far away. The Brahmas coming off a great year in football, and Thompson was part of that.
And don't ask me how I know this, but it's a nice little midway stop between Austin and Houston for people who like to go out and ride their Harleys on the weekends.
Yeah, 36. Take you between 290 and I-10.
Flag on the play. The Huskies are going to be backed up 5 yards before they can snap the ball on 1st down.
Pre-snap penalties will kill you, that's for sure.
They've been a bugaboo here in the 1st half for the Huskies. 4 in the 1st quarter, as you mentioned a little while ago. 6:38 to go here till halftime. 1st and 15, ball is at the 9-yard line. Movement again. Max Brown this time jumped the half beat early. Got to wonder if maybe Baker is changing up his rhythm on the snap count.
Yeah, that seemed to catch not one but two offensive linemen off guard. That might be on Baker. Sometimes, the quarterback might say hut or hike, and the ball's not delivered, and that could also be on the center. So we'll leave it at that.
Well, the guys that jump are going to say it wasn't their fault.
Exactly.
Still first down, still waiting to, in effect, get this series underway. Hand it off on first down, and it's Larry Day who's checked into the ball game for his first carry out across the 10 to the 11-yard line.
Yeah, Larry Day has seen limited action so far this season. Did have a couple of big plays in their last game, but Day, he's a running back out of Conroe, Texas, played at Conroe High School. He is a freshman, 5'9", 190 pounds. That Conroe-Klein rivalry back in the late 70s was a good one.
Second down and 13. Baker swings a pass out to Lazard. Flag comes in immediately. Not much there for Darian, but we will see what this laundry on the field is about.
And the linemen for HBU are saying it's against OBU. And it is. Just have to persevere when things aren't going quite right. In this situation, this being for OBU, just got to bounce back. But good call here. Lazard trying to pick up some extra yardage there.
Brings up 2nd and 8, so they've gotten some of the yardage back from the penalties.
When the season first started, Lazard, there was a thought that he might even play quarterback here for HBU, but they want him on the field on every play, and they wanted Kadarius Baker out there as well, so there you go.
Here's a pass, inside screen to Ethan Fry again, and he's out across the 17 and wrapped up there. But again, that little underneath route has been open. That little quick hitter. Not much there, a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd down and 7 now.
You take what the defense will give you, but at 3rd and 7, be interesting to see what the call is this time around. That play wouldn't work on 3rd and 7. Got to go a little further out.
Larry Day still in the backfield with Baker on this series. Off of his left shoulder, 2 receivers to either side of the field. Baker, straight drop to throw, looks down the sideline. He has Kenneth Bibbins and some pushing. Bibbins can't hang on, but we will see. This may be, they're going to call offensive pass interference.
It was. You could see him pushing off there, trying to get a little bit of leverage, a little bit of room. We'll take a look at this one more time on your Legacy Sports Network. Instant replay here. Take a look at the pass downfield. Before the camera was over on that side, he did push off. I don't think there was any question about that. We did see it from our vantage point. Kenneth Bibbins, he is a 6'5", 242-pound tight end out of Kempner here in Houston, the Sugar Land area.
Well, because of the incomplete pass, it looks like the penalty is going to be declined. So 4th down with 4:41 to go, and Duncan on to punt the ball away. His 2nd punt of the night to come. And now we've got a whistle, and this may be, it is a delay of game. The play clock runs down to 0. Well, I can almost assure you, Jeff, that Coach Shealy is going to mention something about penalties here at halftime to his players in the locker room.
Need to get a good punt off here.
Right at the goal line, good snap, and Duncan's punt goes off the side of his foot, and that is not what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, unfortunately for punters, they don't really get a lot of attention until something goes wrong. Usually you don't think too much of a 40 to 50-yard punt, but when it goes off the side of the foot a couple of times, it makes an impression.
And it's unfortunate for Duncan because he's done a fairly good job on his punting in the first 2 games of this young season.
Sometimes when you're backed up deep on your own side of the field, you're almost trying too hard. You're thinking about the fact that you want to hit it just right, and you end up taking it right off the side of your foot.
Ball is officially spotted at the HBU 29, so just a 17-yard punt, and it's 1st and 10 for Oklahoma Baptist there. Fields gets a handoff on first down, and he's down. Let's see, something happened there. We had some activity away from the football. They're going to spot him down at the 26, a 3-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, Zach Clark downfield, sticking with his block, maybe a little longer than HBU wanted him to. But right now is the time you want your defense to make some plays. Make a stand, make a stop. Take over the momentum. Because of the HBU defense, it's a 0-0 game. Their offense has not done much, but the defense has done a nice job. And, of course, as I brag about them, they jump off sides. Could have been perhaps a motion penalty. Let's check.
You know, we talked about the intensity of the first home game for the Huskies here. And I'm sure that some of this has to be related to the fact that these guys are really pumped up to play in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, first game at home. Yeah, you see the hard count there and a couple of defenders jumping. No time to get back. Too guilty.
Give them 5 free yards, though. It's 2nd now and short. Play fake. Grauer rolls out to his right, throws, has a receiver. It's caught. Nice catch. And that is
Cody Miller.
Cody Miller.
Grauer did a nice job of rolling out and finding Cody Miller, who's out of Lawton, Oklahoma. But the good play fake inside, and look at that, just a dart in traffic again, in between 3 defenders. I mean, that's good coverage.
Yeah.
But a perfect pass can beat good coverage.
1st and goal from the 7, the deepest penetration tonight for Oklahoma Baptist. Grauer looking out to his receivers either side. H-back off to the left side, handed off to Fields. He gets down to the 5 and plows forward to the 4-yard line, wrapped up there by a couple of Huskies. Terrell Brown is back out on the field, and he's in on the stop.
Down to 2:50 and counting here in the first half. And an important goal line stand, if you will, right now for HBU. Can they hold their own, keep this game maybe to 3 points?
Fields in the backfield. And he will get the handoff. Stacked up right at about the line of scrimmage, though. Good penetration by the defensive front that time. Cameron Lacroix gets up. Taylor Thompson is there. A couple of friends in on the play as well.
Yeah, nice job right there by the defense. A lot of clogging up the middle, but it all starts with the big man, Terrence Walker, the defensive tackle out of Forney, North Forney High School.
3rd and goal from the 3-yard line. Under 2 minutes to go till the half. Grauer from the pistol. Play fake, under pressure, unloads, has a receiver in the end zone, and he can't hang on. Oh, almost a great defensive play for a sack, but then almost an acrobatic catch for a touchdown.
Great pressure right there by the HBU defense, but that ball has to be caught if you're OBU. Fighting his way back, trying to help his quarterback out. The easy part was supposed to be catching the ball, but Cody Miller couldn't come up with it for OBU, and they're going to have to settle for a field goal.
Terrell Brown almost got a sack there, but Grauer somehow got the pass off.
We're down to 7 seconds here on the play clock. They're going to have to hurry up and get this field goal off. Down to 4, 3, and they do get it off.
Austin Manger gets the kick away and splits the uprights. And with 1:38 to go here in the first half, we finally have a score on the board, and it belongs to the Bison of Oklahoma Baptist University, 3-0. You're watching HBU Huskies football presented by the Baptist Church Loan Corporation on the Legacy Sports Network.
Here's a crazy idea. What if your bank actually paid you for using your debit card? Let's say 10 cents for every $10 or more debit card purchase. How amazing would that be? We call it Cashback Counts Checking from Community Bank. A free debit card that pays you to use it. Even he's smiling at that. Swipe all you can from your bank. Community Bank of Texas. Bank where you live.
Back at Crusader Stadium here in Houston, Texas. Lonnie King and Jeff Power, glad you're along with us for the ride tonight. But right now, the Huskies find themselves on the short end of a 3-0 score after a couple of first-half opportunities went by the boards for HBU in their home opener. They have finally succumbed and given up a scoring drive to the Bison of Oklahoma Baptist.
Well, the HBU defense there did stiffen up down around the red zone. That was important, keep us a 3-point game. See if the offense can maybe make up for some of their miscues here in the first half with 1:38 to play. If they can put together a nice drive. Get your dogs up right there, huh?
Right there. And
it's the slogan here for HBU.
That's a lucky dog right there. In to kick off, Austin Manger just delivered a field goal that has given the Bison the first lead of the ball game. 1:38 to go. The Huskies have just under 100 seconds left to try and do something. Out of the return, it is Davis Ahianacho, and he's out across the 20 and carries it out to the 30-yard line. Nice return. And check it, that's Jackie Robinson on the return, not Ahianacho.
Yeah, Jackie Robinson Jr., 5'8", 180 pounds out of Pearland, Texas. Maybe that'll be the spark HBU needs as they'll get started here on their own 31-yard line.
1st and 10 from that spot.
Crowd starting to get into it now, realizing they can make an impact here. First home game in school history in the sport of football.
Baker looks over the defensive set. Wants to throw on first down, has Ethan Fry. Another catch for the freshman from Cedar Park, and he takes it out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Good job to get the necessary yardage, but also to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Yeah, good play right there. Ethan Fry open, taking advantage of it. Nice pass by Kadarius Baker. They're up around the 45-yard line.
Larry Day in the backfield. Baker again looks over the defensive set. Standard 4-man front. Check it, 3-down lineman. The ball slips away from Baker. He's going to unload it. Looks down the field, and it's going to be almost picked off. The Huskies are fortunate there.
Yeah, that one kind of put up for grabs. But you call it very fortunate that that wasn't an interception. Let's take a look at the play. So right here, you've got a decision to make. Are you just going to fall on it, make sure you don't have a fumble, or that? The option is not that. Luckily for Kadarius Baker, he gets another chance.
Wilson Kurt had to go through his hands.
Probably want to just pick that ball up and maybe throw it out of bounds if you can.
Swing it out to Wesley Lewis. Lewis tried to turn it back up, but wrapped up out in the open field at the 45-yard line. Basically no gain there, so now it's going to be 3rd down and 10.
That play only works if the other receiver can get out and make the block. And unfortunately in that situation didn't happen. So 3rd and 10, 50 seconds to go in the half.
Baker again from the shotgun, has time, throws, looking for Wesley again, and this time he makes the catch. Wesley Lewis on the reception, and that's going to be a 1st down.
That is a big boy play right there. Kadarius Baker, look at him unload this pass. Gets good protection, fires this one downfield, and what a nice grab downfield. Not only hauling it in, but you got to find a way to kind of avoid the lights, avoid the defender who's right in front of you, and making a good job there of hauling that one in. Nice job by Wesley Lewis.
Another low snap, and Baker has to pick it off the turf. And this time he's going to throw it away. Good job
He
to
learned.
get rid of it.
See, that's good. He got that one out of there. But only 12 seconds left. You see Vic Shealy in the left here in the white jacket. Coordinator's trying to get the next play in here. The clock with 12 seconds to go in the half.
And now we've seen a couple of snaps go awry here. Mark Hibbler, the center for the Huskies, on this series has had a couple of low snaps, and Baker now with 2nd and 10 takes a good snap, throws out in the flat, looks for Lazard off to the left side and just let him a little too far. That's a tough pass to make at that angle.
Yeah, that cost him 4 seconds. Now the question is, do you run the field goal unit out right now, or do you try one more in that corner of the end zone? I think you get enough time to put one up in the corner, but you definitely don't want to leave it short of the goal line.
They've still got 2 timeouts, so they could run a quick play here and get a timeout, you would think, in 8 seconds if they need it.
I don't know if that's going to make a big difference, though. I'd say go for it.
Baker now will
3
run
seconds,
out of the pocket,
2.
throw to the corner of the end zone. It's caught. No, they say he came down out of bounds.
And that's unfortunate because the clock ran out as well.
Darian Lazard thought he had a touchdown. And that is the end of the first half. And I hope we've got a look at that one. Let's take a real quick glance.
Yeah, Kadarius Baker, at this point when he decides to break to the outside, now he knows we're going to have to go for it. We're going to need a touchdown here because the clock is obviously going to be at zeros. Here's Lazard in the corner, catches it. Thought he had his foot inside that pylon. What do you think? It's, you know what happens? The right foot hits first.
Yeah.
That's the difference, and the right foot's out of bounds. That's the problem.
So the Huskies almost took a lead in at the half, but we'll go to the break with HBU trailing 3-0 to Oklahoma Baptist. It's the home opener in program history, family weekend at HBU. And when we come back, we will visit, well, we'll check the first half numbers, and then we will visit with the president of HBU, Dr. Robert Sloan. All of that coming up straight ahead on the Huskies Halftime Report.
If you're looking for the best selection of crawfish on this side of Louisiana, the Louisiana Crawfish Hut is the place to go. Our seafood selection will make you go home completely satisfied with our dishes, such as our oyster louie and hut platter, not to mention desserts that will cure your sweet tooth craving. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut offers any type of atmosphere you're looking for, whether day or night, 7 days a week, with the best service you will find around. Come in and watch your favorite team on any of our 16 TVs. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut, located off Highway 90 in Crosby, offering the best that Louisiana has to offer here in Texas.
Halftime of our game here at Crusader Stadium, the home opener for the HBU Husky football program. And they trail here at the half to Oklahoma Baptist 3-0. And Jeff Power, I think that is probably a little bit of surprise, but I'm sure the coaches in the locker room right now are doing what they can to try and correct this. It's similar to what we saw at Wayland Baptist a couple of weeks ago.
Well, the 8 penalties for 52 yards is what kind of stands out. But you're right. Last week, this was a game that was tied 28-all, and they went on a 24-0 run in the second half against Wayland Baptist, and that ended up being the difference. So whatever was said last week, I would bottle that up and use it again right now.
Yeah, here in the first half, the Huskies have actually outgained Oklahoma Baptist 186 yards to 91. And early in the game, it looked like they had an opportunity to really dominate and put this one, or at least put Oklahoma Baptist in a hole, and they weren't able to do that, and now they find themselves trailing at the break.
They missed a short field goal. Then they had a big 15-yard penalty. The next time they were down deep inside the red zone, you just can't have that. When you're deep in that red zone area, you've got to put points on the board. Even here at the end of the first half, Kadarius Baker rolls out. He knows he's got 8 seconds to do something with it, but what you don't want to do is continue to roll around the pocket, burn up all 8 seconds, and eliminate a shot of even getting a field goal, and that's what happened. And you look at the replay there, Lazard made the catch. He did get 1 foot in bounds, but it was after his right foot had already gone out of bounds. So just a tough situation right there, and they trail because of it 3-0 right now here at halftime.
It does show you the athleticism of a guy like Darian Lazard, but unfortunately unable to reel it in for the score before the break. You know, against Wayland Baptist, the offense was clicking, over 600 yards. Here in the first half, they've outgained Oklahoma Baptist, but they haven't clicked quite nearly as effectively as they did a couple of weeks ago.
They've been moving the ball well inside the 20s, but once they get down around that red zone, they've had some trouble punching it in. And as you mentioned, they're not quite maybe getting the balance they had in their last outing. But the defense for HBU has played really well. The defense has been the positive side. There has been some penalties and some big plays. They did have the interception also down inside their own red zone, which was big for the HBU defense as well.
They've had 4 red zone opportunities here in the first half. Unfortunately, unable to convert on any of them. Possessed the ball against Oklahoma Baptist, nearly 19 minutes to 11 in the first half. A lot to like about what you saw, but a lot left to be desired for them to work on in the second half.
Well, the good news is you feel, even as a coach, that there's no question we have the better team on the field. Execute the plays, find a way to deliver, and let the execution itself take care of the play on the field. And I think HBU, the way they move the ball and the way they play defense, they can win this game. You got to give them that confidence, but let them know, hey, enough with the mistakes.
Yeah, so a lot to look forward to here in the second half for the Huskies and their fans here in this first ever home game for the football program. We'll take a break, and when we come back, a special guest here at the half will join us here on Huskies football. You're watching it on the Legacy Sports Network. Halftime of our game between the HBU Huskies and the Oklahoma Baptist Bison. The Huskies right now on the short end of a 3-0 score, but we're pleased to be joined by a man who has been very influential in even making this night happen, Dr. Robert Sloan, the president of Houston Baptist University. Dr. Sloan, good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely, good to be with you.
What a night, the home opener for this program.
It's so exciting. I mean, you obviously can see the students and the alumni and the fans. So we have a huge crowd out here, and we've more than filled up our half of the stadium, so it's pretty exciting.
And this, I know from talking to you in the past, has been one of the key elements. When you came on board as the president of the school, you wanted to grow the enrollment. You wanted to grow this school's presence in the city. And I know that you've said athletics were going to be a big part of that.
It really is. The first thing we did was get back into the NCAA Division I, and then now here a number of years later, we've been blessed to be able to start football, so it's pretty exciting. But, yes, absolutely. Athletics is a huge marketing tool. It's visibility for the university. It's great for the athletes and the alumni and the students. And it draws students, and it retains students. So it's going to help us double the size of our university over the next 6 years.
A few weeks ago, we were impressed to see the turnout that made the trek up to Huntsville for the opening game in the program's history. How nice is it to see a home crowd here tonight celebrating your team out here on the field?
It really is wonderful. Again, just great fan enthusiasm, and it's wonderful tonight, our first home game, and then next year when we play our first season in the Southland Conference, and we'll have our own bleachers on our own home stadium right over there on 59 in Fondren where HBU is, so pretty exciting.
Well, just real quick, second half to come. What do you want to see?
Oh, we're gonna score. We'll score a lot. So I'm enthusiastic about our team's chances.
Great. Appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks so much.
Dr. Robert Sloan, the president of Houston Baptist University. When we come back, it'll be time for the second half kickoff. All of that when Huskies football, presented by the Baptist Church Loan Corporation, returns. Second half about to get underway. Huskies will receive the second half kickoff here. Moving right to left here in the third quarter of play, and a high kick is going to come down to Terrence Hawkins, who's out there for the first time, and he brings it up the sideline out across the 30 to the 35-yard line. Terrence was not out on the field in the first half, but brings back the opening kickoff here to start the second half. Tackled by Bryson Beatty.
Yeah, Terrence Hawkins out of Waxahachie, Texas, 6'1", 190 pounds, has great speed, did a nice job of giving HBU good field position to start off here in the third quarter.
Spotted at the 35-yard line, good starting field position, and Huskies ready to get things going. Just underway here in the third quarter. B.J. Kelly in the backfield with Kadarius Baker. They go with the two tight end set as they did much of the first quarter. Handed off, big hole up the middle. B.J. Kelly works his way right up the hash marks across the 40 to the 43-yard line.
Nice job there by B.J. Kelly, picking up a head of steam.
Nelson Medeiros on the stop for Oklahoma Baptist. Big gain of 8 yards, though. 2nd and 2 to come. Davis Ahianacho out to the left side of the formation. Wesley Lewis split out wide to the right side. Handed off to Kelly again. Big hole, almost slipped into the second level, but he's tripped up. Touchdown saving tackle by Dante Meeking. And
we have a penalty flag here on the near side of the field. A couple of players look like they were getting after it here near the 50-yard line.
But there is a question on the field.
Dead ball foul, whatever it is. It's a personal foul. Drew O'Daniel there. You see Coach O.D., our pregame guest tonight on the stream, not happy about the call. He wants an explanation.
I'm sure he's thinking in situations like this, maybe they offset each other. You got two guys kind of yelling at each other and jawing. Why is it maybe only going one way?
Now, the interesting thing is the result of the play was a first down, and since it was a dead ball foul, the penalty is stepped off. It's still 1st and 10 for the Huskies, but only winds up being about a 7-yard net after a nice carry, though, by Kelly. And the running game has looked very effective on the first 2 plays here of the second half.
A little more fire. The offensive line providing some big holes.
Kelly again. This time the hole closes up in the middle, and there's maybe a yard for BJ, possibly 2 out to the 42-yard line.
4 yards, 2nd down and 9.
Usually you know right away coming out that first drive to start the third quarter, you get that feel for, okay, it's obvious that the coaching staff kind of got into the players a little bit. You want to see if they can maybe take that energy onto the field and be careful at the same time by not overexerting themselves, keep it on the field, avoid those penalties.
Single receiver to either side, 2 tight ends set. Brown and Bibbins both in the lineup. Handed off to Kelly, and this time he takes it to the left side of the formation, stays in between the tackles, but gets out to about the 43-yard line. Another yard on the gain. It'll be 3rd down and 7, and so now early here in the third quarter, 3rd and long situation and a test for this offense.
Yeah, T.C. Jones kind of jawing a little bit right there. You see the hole didn't quite open up, and Kadarius Baker might want to think about hanging on to that ball next time. He was wide open. Of course, you try to play off what that defensive end is doing in that particular play, but you want to keep that defense honest. If they start leaning towards the running back, that's a good time to just hang on to it and run a little bootlegger on that right side.
Baker looks over the defense. Play fake to Kelly, gets a nice block on the rollout, throws it to Brown, the tight end. He makes the catch, but he's going to be just a little bit shy of the necessary yardage. Deontay Meeking again on the tackle.
So a big decision here for HBU, 4th and 1. They've had the momentum. You almost hate to take it away from them by punting. They're going to go for it.
4th and 1, and they bluffed that time like they were going to quick snap it, but Again, now we've got a timeout, and I think Oklahoma Baptist is going to look for a timeout. Let's see. Oh, no, we've got illegal participation. Too many men on the field for OBU, and so that's going to be an automatic first down.
Yeah, that's a big mistake right there for OBU. The Bison with 12 men on the field, and HBU will take that 5 yards and the first down.
Well, you don't ask how, you just ask how many. And so, like you say, they move the chains and the drive is alive. 1st and 10 at the 46.
Play clock down to 5 seconds.
They're going to be hard pressed to get it off. They barely do before the clock runs out. Throw by Baker and intended for Davis Ahianacho, who's been out there on quite a few offensive downs tonight. Just overthrew him a little bit, incomplete.
That was a great play fake right there by Baker. He just kind of hid the ball behind his leg, and next thing you know, with no one near him, he's firing it 50 yards downfield.
Terrence Hawkins checks in as they come quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Ahianacho heads to the sideline. Hawkins caught a touchdown pass against Wayland Baptist streaking up the sideline. Here's a handoff. It's Craig Bell who's into the backfield. He gets the carry down to about the 42-yard line. Give him 4, and it's 3rd and long.
Craig Bell Jr. out of Sweeney, Texas, doing a nice job of picking up some hard-fought yards right there, but it is a 3rd and 6 now.
So again, a key 3rd down play here. They were 4 of 10 on 3rd down conversions in the first half. 0 for 1 so far here in the second half. Baker has him at the line of scrimmage, takes a snap, play fake again, rolls out to his right, has Max Brown. Same play they ran on 3rd down. This time they're going to pick up a first down and move the chains.
But there is a penalty flag down on the field.
Pass complete. Number 10, Max Brown. Good yardage for the first down with a question on the play.
It's going to be a penalty against Terrence Hawkins. And again, it's on the opposite side of the play.
An eligible receiver downfield.
They're calling, I read the referee's lips. He said 85. Bibbins is a tight end. That must have been something about the way the Huskies were lined up. Maybe both Bibbins and Hawkins were up to the line of scrimmage and made Bibbins covered up an ineligible receiver. Wow, another penalty against the Huskies, and it's 3rd down and 11 now.
Illegal participation now on OBU, it looks like. They were trying to run a player onto the field. They might have got a timeout. They did.
So both teams still not operating in perfect synchronization, and I would imagine it's time to take a quick breath and hopefully you regroup here. See, Kenneth Bibbins is right down there next to Coach Shealy, and
number 85, left side of your screen.
You can tell he still doesn't think he did anything wrong.
Must not have lined up. You need to have 7 on the line of scrimmage. Maybe he just wasn't up far enough. You know, sometimes you'll see tight end, they'll come up to the line of scrimmage and they'll make sure the official sees him kind of raise his hand.
Well, want to remind you that 2 weeks from tonight, we will be over at BBVA Compass Bank Stadium, downtown Houston, and have the audio broadcast for you. The Huskies' next home game, big one against future Southland Conference foe, Abilene Christian.
Yeah, that'll be a good time over there. Of course, that's the home of the Dynamo. Beautiful stadium right up against the downtown skyline of Houston, Texas.
3rd down and 11 for HBU.
Huskies back out onto the field. They've got 4 receiver package out there now. Hawkins, Fry, Lazard, and Wesley Lewis, the 4 receivers. Craig Bell in the backfield with Kadarius Baker. Fry and Lazard in the slot out to the left side. That's the wide side of the field. Hawkins is wide to that side. Lewis to the opposite. Baker wants to throw under pressure. Flushed out of the pocket. Still on the run. Throws and has a man. It's Wesley Lewis. Makes a catch. He's down inside the 25. The ball squirts out. Let's see. And they're going to call it a fumble and a turnover at the end of the play after a nice game by Wesley Lewis. And it's going to be recovered for Oklahoma Baptist, I believe, by Nelson Medeiros.
Yeah, very unfortunate situation right there, and kind of sums up the game so far for HBU. They make a big play, but then they turn it over. They make a mistake. Look at Kadarius Baker finding a way to get out of trouble there. Perfect pitch, but you got to know there's someone coming behind. You got to tuck that ball away. You hold the points of the football. Not a good job of hanging on to the football right there, running downfield, Wesley Lewis, and they're talking about it right now.
Scott Smith is very demonstrative in his discussion with his offense, and here's a handoff on first down by Grauer, and not much there. You see the associate head coach and offensive coordinator for this team, Scott Smith.
Well, that drive was kind of a microcosm of things that have happened. I mean, they make some big plays, but then there's a mistake. They turn it over. And these are after plays. After plays have already been proven to work.
Jalen Norris bluffed a blitz that time, and let's see that. It looked almost like an interception. They're going to rule it incomplete. Prince Sam standing in the end zone with the football, and
let's see, maybe grab some shoe before it hit the turf. Let's find
see
out
what we got here. We got a good look at this, hopefully.
You can see the ball. Oh, it did come off the ground. I was thinking there was a chance it came off his shoe, but it definitely came off the ground. But, you got to do the right thing there, and Prince says, hey, I might as well just take it on into the end zone.
Just in case. 3rd down and 10 right now. Huskies defense wants to hold and get off the field quickly here, get the ball back in the hands of Baker and company. Grauer, empty set in the backfield, wants to throw, looks, and it's picked off. Brown with the interception. Inside the 10, he'll go to the house.
The first touchdown in the history of the home stadium here for HBU, and it's going to be the defense that gets the job done. You can put Terrell Brown III in the record books. The Hightower grad takes it into the end zone on the interception, and it is a touchdown.
But wait.
It's going to be a touchdown, but there might be a penalty flag after for a legal celebration. But look at the play here. It's going to stand. Terrell Brown III with the pick, doing a nice job of following his blockers into the end zone for the touchdown. Keith Ewing doing a nice job of picking up a block there. And the Huskies score their first touchdown in the city of Houston.
Marty Scarberry comes on to attempt the extra point. He's got a first half miss of a field goal attempt. Now Kenneth Bibbins late to get onto the field, but they wait. Still got plenty of time on the play clock. Good snap from center, and the kick is up and through, and the Huskies extend their lead now from 6-3 to 7-3 with 9:17 to go. Another look at the interception, the pick six.
Well, I think there's no question about it so far in the game. Cale Grauer has done a nice job of splitting the hairs, but at this point, it just comes back to haunt him as his 7th interception of the season, twice in this particular game.
And sometimes when you thread the needle like that a couple of times, you get a little bolder and you think you can do it all night long.
Good point.
That might not have served him well that time.
So it is a defensive touchdown. That goes in the record books as the first touchdown here at home for Houston Baptist, and that might be the spark they needed. The offense has played well at times. They've had some great plays, but they've made some penalties. They've turned the ball over a couple of times. Maybe the defense can kind of pick them up here.
Especially after they had a nice-looking drive on the opening possession that resulted in a turnover. You hated to see it end that way, and now the defense comes back and picks you up, and maybe the offense comes out with, the defense is going to come back out onto the field here, but
talking things over right now on special teams. It's so important after you score a touchdown, you want to keep the momentum. Use that momentum for your special teams. Go make a hit downfield. Don't give up any kind of big plays and give them the momentum right back. You got to love the uniform, right? The HBU uniform is sharp. Got the HBU across the helmet there, and of course you see Kiza, the mascot there, for the Huskies, looking sharp. And the blue and orange and white, it's a nice color for the HBU, always has been, and good to see football on campus. Look at the stands here at Strake Jesuit College Prep, packed. Hot ticket here in town.
Huskies set to kick it off. Scarberry and company out to the 35-yard line.
Vic Shealy, you see him on the sidelines here talking to the officiating crew in the white jacket, bottom right of your screen there. Probably just relaying the message to his team. Don't cross the line before the ball is kicked. All the little details, you got to think about it all. Get excited after a touchdown.
On a night like this, when you've seen a lot of yellow laundry on the field, you want to
remind him.
You want to do all you can to set the reminders in motion. They got to hurry up and get this kick away. The play clock went down to 1 second before Scarberry got underneath it, and here's a loose ball on the return, and it looks like Ori Bancole might have picked it up, and the Huskies will have the football.
Big play right there on special teams. Ori Bancole with the huge hit. He's out of Stanford, and he is a 5'10", 165-pound sophomore. The key was he got downfield quickly, and watch the hit right here. That ball is jarred loose underneath. Looks like number 32, Najee Bassoon, knocking that ball free. HBU football. Special teams coming up big now. We'll see if this carries over to the offense now, up 7-3.
So a pick six and then a turnover on the ensuing kickoff, and the Huskies now looking like they are poised to strike. Baker and company. Larry Day in the backfield with him. Play fake to him. Baker wants to throw, looks, has a receiver, and it is caught inside the 10 at the 5-yard line. Wesley Lewis makes the catch.
Wesley Lewis out of Leander Rouse High School. Great job with the catch. Down inside the 10-yard line.
Clint Wilson on the tackle for Oklahoma Baptist, but first and goal for the Huskies. Under 9 minutes to go here in the third quarter, trying to tack on some more to this lead. Hand it off. Larry Day takes it to the left side. Good job by the defensive front that time. And he's wrapped up for no gain. Maybe dropped for a yard loss back at the 6.
Larry Day, he's a strong back. Gets put into these goal line situations when the ball's inside the 5 or 6 yard line in this case. And Day still out there on the field.
Levi Jennings made the stop that time for the Bison and brings up a second down and goal. Huskies look back at the sideline to get the play call.
One thing worth mentioning, the season started August 30th, but they've only played 2 games. This is the third.
And off today, he tried to take it behind the right tackle, and he gets down inside the 5 to about the 3. Third and goal, Jeff. What do you call here on this short yardage situation?
Well, I've been calling for it. How about that corner of the end zone? Go up high. You've got some receivers over there. Toss it up on that left side.
Bibbins, a 6'6" tight end / wide receiver, is lined up out there.
Every 85, far left side. Watch for it. A little play action.
2 backs in the backfield. And they give it instead to B.J. Kelly. Bounces off a tackle and into the end zone. Touchdown, Huskies.
Great run right there by B.J. Kelly as he squirts in for the touchdown. The Midway product out of Waco. Doing a nice job of finding the hole. Look at the hole on the right side there. Good job of blocking. And a nice job of running right there as well. Kelly finding a way to sprint into the end zone. There's the first offensive touchdown of the season for the Huskies at home.
Second one of the season for B.J. Kelly. The extra point is good. And with 7:29 to go now, suddenly the Huskies 2 quick touchdowns up by 11 over the Oklahoma Baptist Bison. And you're watching HBU Huskies football presented by the Baptist Church Loan Corporation on the Legacy Sports Network.
Time waits for no one. And those who look only to the past are rarely ready for their future. Never underestimate our ability, because after all, we are Texans.
$7:29 to go here in the third quarter. Want you to interact with us during the broadcast. Tweet us. Watch us on YouTube as well. And Marty Scarberry ready to kick it off. This one's going to go out of bounds, and so the option will lie with Oklahoma Baptist, and they should start out in good field position here.
So 3 big plays in a row for Houston Baptist. That's just what the doctor ordered. Defensive touchdown, special teams turnover, offensive touchdown. Nice.
Ball's going to be spotted at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for Oklahoma Baptist.
And when I say the doctor, I mean Dr. Sloan ordered that.
I am sure he was confident at halftime that they were going to have a much better second half. Pistol formation for the Bison. Pitch back goes to Barnes, who's checked in at running back, still on his feet. Out across the 40 to the 45. A couple of missed tackles there, and Barnes is going to carry it for 11 yards and a first down.
And this is a key part of the game right now. Barnes has shown that he runs with authority out there. Look at him, finding a way to get through the holes. Nice blocking there as he picks up the first down. What you want to do if you're HBU in this situation, you want to keep them in check. You've got the momentum right now. You've made some big plays. You've got a lead, 14-3. Got to keep OBU in check.
Barnes again on first down, this time bottled up in the middle of the field. Wrapped up by Kafo Tua. Keith Ewing also in there on the stop after about a 3-yard gain out to the 49-yard line.
Good to see the HBU students here. Good crowd on hand here at Crusader Stadium.
2nd down and 7. 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Huskies up by 11. Handed to Barnes, cuts it to the outside, turns it up the field. Arm tackle is missed, and he's inside the 30, out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Jahalen Norris ran him out of bounds.
Yeah, Jahalen Norris picking up the slack there at the end, the junior transfer out of Fort Scott. He's also out of Waxahachie, played at DeSoto as well, but got to make the tackles up front. That miss right there hurt. That caused an extra 10 yards, and that's why you've got those safeties back there like Jahalen Norris to clean it up.
Looked like Garen Dolan had a shot at him and could not wrap him up. And here's Barnes again. Up the hash marks and down inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Give him 3 on the carry. 2nd down and 7 to come.
Well, Barnes was the leading rusher coming into the game for Oklahoma Baptist, but for some reason didn't make the start, but has been pretty effective. He's been the one weapon for them that's seemed to work on the ground. And at times you see that Cale Grauer has got what it takes to be a quarterback at this level, but it's the picks that have been really hurting him.
Pitch back to Barnes. Closing in that time, though, was Taylor Thompson. Wrapped him up, slowed him down, and Dolan comes in to help wrap it up. And no gain on that carry, and it'll be 3rd down and 7.
They're just about in field goal range right here with the ball on the 26-yard line. Got a chance to watch some of the kicking going on here before the game. You always like to watch that because it'll give you an idea of what's the coach thinking when they're around the 30-yard line. Would they go for a field goal? Would they go for it? It's 3rd and 6.
Bring it to the line of scrimmage. They've got 3 receivers out to the left side of the formation. roll that way. Grauer wants to throw, has a receiver tipped and caught. They're going to say he made the catch. It's going to wind up being a 1-yard net gain in that. It's Cy Stollard.
Yeah, Cy Stollard out of Cleveland, Oklahoma. Didn't know there was a Cleveland, Oklahoma. I know there's a Cleveland, Texas, and a Cleveland, Ohio. Look at this. He tips the ball up in the air, holds onto the ball. Wow, send that one in. Play of the night. Fantastic job.
He looked up at Taylor Thompson like, I do this every week. But it's 4th down now, and so we're going to see a 42-yard field goal attempt by Manger from the far hash mark. Got enough toe, but it is going to hook wide to the left. And no good. The Huskies defense holds on 4th down.
Looked like he had plenty of leg, kind of hooked it a little bit to the left, though. That tends to happen when you're trying to put a little extra oomph into it. That 42-yarder just wide left, so HBU will take over on offense with 4:09 to play in the third, up 14-3.
Looking at the flags down in the south end zone, it appears that the wind might have been an assist to him. That time it seems to be blowing from left to right, but did not help it stay inside the crossbars. 1st and 10 for the Huskies at the 25-yard line. 2 backs set, 2 receivers out to the left side of the formation. Handed off to Day. Day wiggles his way for a yard out across the 25 to the 26. 2nd and 9 to come.
With HBU up 14-3 right now, I'd like to see if you can kind of put the hammer down, maybe put this game away here with a nice long drive.
Same formation as the previous down. Tight end Max Brown is tight to the right side. That's the short side of the field, and 2 receivers out wide to the left. Bibbins lined up wide to the left side. Lazard in the slot. 2 backs. Handed off. No play fake. Baker still has it, wants to throw, and now he's going to be forced out of bounds as nobody was downfield on that side of the field. Somebody got mixed up on that. Baker rolled out to his right, and all his receivers were on the left side of the field.
That one might be on Baker, huh? Unless it was designed for him to run over there.
It's 3rd and 12. Now they go back to the 4 receiver set. This time they send Lewis out to the short side of the field. Fry and Lazard in the slot to the left side wide, and Davis Ahia Nacho is wide out to that side of the field. Tanner Peavy is checked in. He's in the backfield. Now Baker's going to check down to him. Pass is completed. There's a flag in behind the play. It's going to be short of 1st down yardage and may come back for holding anyway.
Anytime the quarterback rolls out like that and you see a flag pretty late, that's usually the call, holding. Can only keep those defenders away for so long.
Levi Jennings stayed with Peavy to wrap him up shy of 1st down yardage, and I think the penalty is declined, and it'll be 4th down for the Huskies. They'll have to kick the ball away.
See if we can see it here. Kadarius rolling out. Might have been right there behind Kadarius. Kadarius looks familiar to you. He led Navasota, the Rattlers, to the state championship Class 3A Division II title over at Cowboys Stadium. And those extra 6 games those teams get in the postseason, they really seem to help. He's now the starting quarterback playing college football 6 months later.
16 games. That's an NFL season he played last year.
That's true.
Good kick this time by Duncan, and it takes a favorable roll, and it's going to be down inside the 20. Max Brown down there on special teams to down it at the 16-yard line, and so a nice exchange that time. Even though the Huskies have to kick the ball away, they will pin OBU deep in their own end of the field.
That was a nice punt. Seems like throughout the night we haven't had a chance to praise the punting too much, so we'll do it. Cheerleaders here at HBU. There's a first for a lot of things. The band, cheerleaders, football. It's good to see.
Great night, family weekend here. The students have been on campus for about a month now in class, and so they get to welcome in the family members for the weekend and show them around the campus. Here's a handoff on first down. It's Fields who's checked back in at running back. Big transfer out of SMU. Carries it forward out across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. Give him 6 yards on the carry, and it'll bring up second down and 4.
Coach Shealy talked about Fields coming into the game, someone you want to watch out for. He played at SMU, enough said.
Pitch back to him this time, takes it to the left side, slips a tackle out across the sticks and across the 30-yard line. That's going to be enough for a first down, and they'll keep the drive alive, move the chains with 1:35 to go here in the third quarter.
Darrell Fields out of Madill, Oklahoma. Played at SMU. Good size, 6'1", 215. Has some speed as well. Where's number 5? That tailback position.
He is far and away the biggest running back on either team here tonight. Pitch it back to him, and this time comes to the near side, and Terrell Brown says, enough of this. Just shoots into the gap there and wraps him up and drops him for about a yard loss, 2nd and 11 to come.
And I'm thinking Fields is probably thinking, hey, Cale, you want to hang on to the ball a little bit longer and give me more of a fake here? Grauer just says, here, you take it.
Grauer says, I'm not going to pretend to anyone that I'm a running quarterback here.
And quarterbacks out there, if you're running the option, you need to bring that defense towards you to give them the option. That's why it's called the option.
What's the throw on 2nd and long? Swings a pass out, has a receiver in the flat, and it's caught. And that is Cody Miller out of Lawton, Oklahoma. He makes the catch and turns it up for first down yardage out to the 45-yard line.
We saw Kiza there for a moment, the mascot here for the Huskies. Taking a little walk right here. Don't leave just yet, Kiza. It's 14-3. It's still tight.
Winding down under 20 seconds to go. This has been a rapid moving third quarter. Grauer from the pistol. Bad snap, and it's bobbled on the turf, and covering it up is Fields. There's a break for the Huskies. Back at the 40-yard line.
A couple of first-year programs, and they're going to make their mistakes.
And it'll be the final play of the third quarter here. See Ewing cover up on Fields there. And we've got 15 minutes to go in this one. The Huskies 14 unanswered points in the third quarter. And they lead 14-3. You're watching it on the Legacy Sports Network.
If I get pneumonia,
Break my arm.
Need to know if my pain is something more.
I know I can trust Neighbors Emergency Center to save me.
they save my time.
They'll save me from missing the championship.
They'll save me from missing my meeting.
They'll save me from missing the chance to walk her down the aisle someday.
They save me.
He saves me.
You save me.
Neighbors Emergency Center saves lives.
Neighbors Emergency Center. Care that counts. Experience that matters.
Huskies trailed 3-0 at the half. Some of the on-field festivities. A little celebration there, even though that kick doesn't appear that it will win anything. But hey, part of the fun of having a home game, a home football game, and the Huskies and their fans can expect more of that in the days, months, and years ahead. 14-3 as we get ready for the fourth quarter here. Grauer on 2nd and 16 is pressured, separated from the football, and is picked up. Cameron Lacroix is going to race it into the end zone untouched, Second defensive touchdown of the night.
I'll tell you what, Lacroix wants to be the player of the night, I think, especially on defense. Cameron Lacroix, opportunistic. He's out of Dunbar in Fort Worth and just scooped that one right up. Nice defensive effort right there all the way around for HBU.
And I think the product of Bel Air High School, Keith Ewing, forced that fumble and set it up. But suddenly the Huskies now on the first play of the fourth quarter have increased the lead to 20-3 with the extra point attempt from Scarberry to come.
Second defensive touchdown of the evening.
Low snap, but good job by Duncan to get the ball lined up for Scarberry, and he drills the extra point through, and it's 21-3 now. And what a fortuitous turn of events.
Yeah, absolutely. The defense just kind of picking up the slack here. A couple of touchdowns now on the defensive side of the ball, and I tell you, if you're a defensive player and you score a touchdown, it's one of the greatest moments you have as a football player.
Second time tonight the Huskies have done that. And it is now 21-3. Huskies up by 18, 3 unanswered touchdowns here in the fourth quarter. And as we get ready for the kickoff, let's say hello to the athletic director of the program here at HBU. Steve Maniaci checks in.
Good
Steve,
evening. Good evening.
Good evening to you. And
it is now.
I was going to ask for your commentary on that, but I would imagine that first half was a little iffy in your eyes.
Well, you know, quite frankly, I didn't see a whole lot of it being her first home ball game. I've been running around most of the first half, but the what I saw didn't, wasn't quite as good as I'd like to have seen. Let's put it that way.
Well, and I'm gonna. I don't know if you want me to tell on you or not, but you were long before this game got underway. You were here at the stadium. I saw you running around, sometimes in the rain, sometimes dodging the raindrops. There was a lot to prepare for this home opener tonight, but talk about how it's turned out for you and for the school.
Oh, we couldn't be more pleased to be here. First of all, I want to thank Strake Jesuit for hosting us. This is really, really a nice facility, and they've been so generous with us and so helpful that we couldn't have asked for any more than that.
Scarberry gets ready to kick it off for the Huskies, who now have an 18-point lead, a high end-over-end kick. It's going to come down at the 6-yard line, carried up the hash marks by Eugene Estes, the Klein Oak product, and he's got a good return out near the 40-yard line. They're going to spot it at the 39. And that is where Oklahoma Baptist will set up shop, 1st and 10. And HBU in their first ever home game with a lead now. And Steve Maniaci has joined us. 1st and 10 right now for the Bison from the pistol formation. Grauer play fake, or check it. He hands it off up the middle. That looks like Barnes on the carry, and he gets out to the 45-yard line. And we do welcome in Steve Maniaci. Steve, again, just a great night for the program. We got to chat a few weeks ago when the opening night happened up in Huntsville. Good fan support for that, but a whole different level when you have a home game.
Absolutely. We couldn't be more pleased with the turnout. Given the weather we had here in Houston today, we were really concerned who would show up. And of course, as you can see now, we've got almost half, this side of the stadium is just full to capacity, and a lot of our fans are on the other side of the stadium. So it's been a great evening for us.
Well, and it's family weekend, so an opportunity to get some folks in who are being introduced again for the first time to this program.
Oh, absolutely. And it's such a great treat for us to be able to have a family weekend that's around a football game, around a big event. In the past we've had family weekend, but there really hasn't been that much going on campus. But now there's so much going on that it's just a whole lot of fun.
Oklahoma Baptist is advanced down inside the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 25. Grauer pressured out of the pocket. He's on the roll, wants to throw a flag on the play, and the pass is picked off. Coming out of the end zone with the return is Taylor Thompson. His second interception of the night, carries it back out to the 25-yard line. I think perhaps we've got an offensive penalty here, but let's wait and see. The way
offensive hold.
It is a holding.
Yeah, so we'll take possession on that.
Those first half penalties were going against the Huskies,
right.
and they seem to be going back in the opposite direction now.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Sometimes the luck evens out, as they say. And sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good. So,
how about the turnout tonight? Good crowd down below us here.
It's absolutely great. It's absolutely great. Like I say, I mean, we were really concerned with the weather today, the way the weather was, that just what the turnout would be. But we couldn't be more pleased. It's just another great night for HBU.
Appreciate you stopping in to share a few minutes of it with us.
Our pleasure. Thanks, you guys, for what you do. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you. Glad to be a part of it. Steve Maniaci, the athletic director for the HBU Huskies, and their offense is back out onto the field now. 1st and 10, Kadarius Baker and company. Craig Bell in the backfield with him. Off of his left shoulder, and they will hand it off. Bell carries it out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. And Jeff, now this defense is really picking up the pace here and creating turnovers and making things happen here.
Yeah, they did give up one big play on that last series, but they quickly made up for it with the interception, giving the ball right back to their offense. And I tell you, the defense, they should be proud of themselves tonight. They've played a great game.
13 minutes and counting in regulation time here. Baker in no hurry as the play clock winds down under 10 seconds. Play fake to Bell, rolls out, wants to throw on the run, and intended for Kenneth Bibbins. Threw it a little behind him. He was trying to stop in his tracks and lost his footing. It'll be incomplete and bring up 3rd down and long.
At 6'5", 242, Bibbins is a huge target out there and just lost his footing, as you mentioned, near midfield. So we'll bring up a 3rd and 9 situation. We're just underway in the 4th quarter now, 12:45 to play, 21-3 HBU.
Fry and Lewis out wide to the right side of the formation. Lazard and Bibbins split out, or check it, that's Hawkins, it looks like, has checked in. Out to the left side. Baker throws, hits his slot receiver. That is Fry, makes the catch out across the 35 to the 36. That's going to be close now. Let's see if they say move the sticks. First down.
Nice job there by Ethan Fry. Not only making the catch, but knowing where he is on the field to turn around and go upfield and get the first down and dragging the defense with him. Looked like Keegan Metcalf there on the tackle. But Ethan Fry says, hey, I need to get the first down. You're coming with me.
Ethan's bulked up his numbers tonight.
He's a Showtime guy.
Through 3 quarters, he's got 4 receptions for 52 yards, so that was his 5th catch of the night. Here's Bell, hop, skip, and a jump into the 2nd level, and he's out near the 45. They're going to spot him down at the 43-yard line. That's a 7-yard gain.
The Bell making some noise right there, right up the middle. Good gain. 2nd and 4 now. Has been a better second half for HBU all the way around. The offense looks better, defense looks better, special teams play. Similar to last week when they outscored Wayland Baptist 24-0.
Well, you just had to think that this team was not playing to the level that it could, and here's Baker on an option keeper, and fooled no one on that. He's going to be dropped maybe for about a yard loss back to the 42-yard line.
So it will be 3rd down. They're actually going to bring in a different tight end. Looks like Maxwell Brown checks into the game now.
2 tight ends set. Bibbins lines up tight to the left side of the formation. No other receiver out there on that end.
Perfect time to roll your tight end out to the left.
Craig Bell in the background. And now we've got a timeout called for. The coaches on the sideline for the Huskies did not like the way that the offensive backfield was shuffling around. Craig Bell didn't seem to know where he should be, and now they'll talk it over. They use up their first timeout here in the second half, so leaves them with 2 to go. 10:41 left in this ball game.
And right now it's all about possession. I mean, 3rd and 5, if you can make a first down here, they're just trying to get 5 yards. Keep the ball, keep that clock rolling. You're up 21-3, but the game is by no means over, so you've got to do what you can to keep that clock moving, and the best way to do that is to get a first down right here on 3rd and 5. One thing that the coaches will tell you, though, it's much easier to learn from your mistakes after a victory than to learn after a defeat, because there's been some mistakes in this game, but they're mistakes that can get cleaned up. They can fix them. The turnovers, got to find a way to hang on to the ball, but the turnover margin definitely belongs to HBU tonight. Their defense has turned 2 of them into pick-6 touchdowns.
Well, I'm sure it's something the coaches will want to address, though, before they get ready to face Abilene Christian in a couple of weeks over at BBVA Compass Stadium. I want to remind you, you can go to HBUHuskies.com to buy individual game tickets for that one and for the other 2 home games as well back here at Crusader Stadium. Baker and company back out to the line of scrimmage. There's a bobble on the snap, and now Baker's got to throw it away. No, he completes it to Bibbins. Slips a tackle, still on his feet, middle of the field, inside the 40. Carrying the football rather loosely, but he picks up a first down.
Great play right there by Bibbins, just getting open downfield. First of all, he had to make the catch, and Kadarius Baker found a way to not only get the football back after he initially juggled it there, but does a little juke move, gets the ball to Bibbins. Look at this catch, almost down to his shoestrings, and then makes a couple of moves. 1, 2. Nearly breaks 2 tackles there, almost 3.
And back to live action here. A carry down inside the 25-yard line by Craig Bell. A little slow to get up, but maybe just catching his breath quickly as he gets down to the 22-yard line. A gain of 13 yards on that one and another first down.
One thing I like about the way Craig Bell and B.J. Kelly run the football, they run it with a lot of authority. They get to the hole quickly. They don't waste any time. I like to see that. Nothing's worse if you're an offensive lineman and you have the hole there, but your running back doesn't get to it.
More efficient here in the second half than they were in the first, that's for sure. Baker, again, though, wobbly snap there, gets the handoff to Bell, and he's carrying a couple of would-be tacklers inside the 15. And that's going to be close to another first down. It's going to be we'll call it a gain of 9 yards, second and a short yard to go here.
Craig Bell Jr., he's got some good, strong leg drive, no question about it, dragging defenders.
They do it again, give it to him. He's got a first down, still on his feet inside the 10. It'll be first and goal right at the 5-yard line, and the Huskies knocking on the door one more time. 9 minutes to go.
Yeah, 9 minutes to play here in the game, up 21-3. A touchdown here would pretty much be the nail in the coffin. But the offense just trying to, put together a whole complete drive.
Hand it off to Bell. This time he's wrapped up. Good play up front for Oklahoma Baptist that time. In on the play was number 52, Brendan Pitzer, freshman out of Edmond, Oklahoma.
And this has probably been the most impressive drive of the night for the offense here for HBU.
Davis Ahianacho was trying to check out, but they send him right back out there, and he splits out wide to the left side of the formation. Lazard in the slot on that side, and they all look over to the sideline for the play call. And now a whistle and timeout on the field. Timeout called by Oklahoma Baptist. Stops the clock with 8:11 to go in this one.
I like what Steve Maniaci said when you were talking to him just a few moments ago, the director of athletics here at HBU. No one here at HBU wants to accept the fact that, it's anything less than we know it's the first season, but it's that feeling of, look, we know we're playing 7 games. We know that next year we officially go into the Southland Conference and those games count. But everyone right now is trying to get that mentality of it's now. It's football. It's time to play. This is our first chance to play in front of our home crowd. It is time to build this program. And this second half is what builds programs for you. You can see it. They will improve to 2-1 with a victory here tonight. You can build off that. You can get those mistakes corrected as well. But I like the fact that they're not settling for mediocrity. They want victories. I like that.
Absolutely. On 2nd and goal here. Back to the line of scrimmage, and Tanner Peavy is checked in, as well as B.J. Kelly in the backfield. 2 receivers out wide to the left side of the formation. Tight end tight to the right. Handed off. Kelly follows a block. Max Brown on the right side of that line, cleared out, and Kelly down inside the 5 to about the 3. 3rd down and goal.
You know, another team that HBU is going to play later this year that's headed to the Southland Conference, Incarnate Word. That game's on the 26th of October, 6 o'clock in San Antonio. Come make a road trip with us. It's a lot of fun down in the Alamo City.
Tailgating on the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
Third down and goal. Big play here for the offense, trying to push it in for another score, and there it is. B.J. Kelly, Red Sea parted, and he went through on dry land.
B.J. Kelly with such a burst of speed. The fastest 5 yards in the West right there. Nice drive. Best drive of the night, no question about it. The offensive line did a good job, and Kelly just fired right through there, and he felt good about it too. Look at him.
He could have run for 55 on that one.
I think 95.
Extra point attempt is up, and it is good. And so now 4 unanswered touchdowns here in the last 22 and a half minutes of football. And the Huskies appear to be firmly in control of this one, 28-3.
Yeah, that was an impressive drive, and I think the offense needed that. They can build off that drive right there and put some of these other mistakes behind. They do have a couple of weeks to get ready for Abilene Christian, a perennial powerhouse. If you know anything about Abilene Christian, they will bring a good football team to BBVA Compass Stadium on October 12th. That is a 7:30 kick. It's going to be a lot of football at BBVA Compass Stadium there on that particular day. The Houston Cougars are playing Memphis earlier in the day at 11. Then you've got later in the evening, Houston Baptist taking on Abilene Christian, 7:30 kick.
Nice doubleheader downtown for college football fans here in the area.
On Comcast. It'll be a nice environment right there in that downtown center. Of course, Houston, one of the most beautiful skylines in the entire country.
Fans have their dogs up as Scarberry sends a wobbly kick, bounding down to the 10-yard line. Taken at the 2 on a couple of hops by Sorowski. He's out across the 20 and bumped out of bounds at about the 25. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Oklahoma Baptist. So
the kids feeling like this game might be well in hand, breaking out the video games up 28-3. That's right. That's right. It's okay, Dad. I got this.
Yeah.
What game is that right there, Lonnie? You know that game?
You think I would?
I was about to throw Galaga out there. I was going to date myself, but you know.
I would have been right there with you.
Love that game. Centipede, Pac-Man. I know.
Pistol formation, and in the backfield, Kafo Tua and Keith Ewing spoiled that play, and Fields is wrapped up for a big loss.
Good pursuit. Anytime you have a couple of defensive men right there on the play in the backfield that far back, that's nice.
Tua must have known the snap count on that one. They're going to give him forward progress, which is the 22-yard line. So it's just officially a 5-yard loss, but 2nd and 15. Option pitch to the right. Fields takes it, turns it up, gets the corner and gets out across the 25, maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 10, though, from the 27.
I think worth noting, Oklahoma Baptist came into this game 0-3. We mentioned that, but all of their losses were single digits. And here's HBU up 28-3 here with 6:20 to play in the game. And that's albeit a very inefficient first half. On top of that, most of this has all happened in the second half.
Well, you can't overstate the importance of those 2 defensive touchdowns that sort of lit a fire under this team. Grauer on the rollout, throws, has a receiver, and it's complete. And that is Nico Simons who makes the catch.
Think about how teams, how they feed off of that kind of play. You have, I mean, in a matter of minutes, you had 3 huge plays in a row. The defense makes an interception return for a touchdown. Special teams forces a turnover. Offense then comes down and scores a TD. That's what it takes. They feed off each other. They use that energy. The sidelines jumping up and down. I mean, you don't want to let your teammates down.
Grauer on the run, throws, has Stallard, makes a catch out across the 40, turns it up to the 46-yard line before he's bumped out of bounds. Nice gain there, 8-yard pickup, and it'll bring up 2nd and short.
It'll be 2nd down and 2.
Clock continues to move. That's important. Inside of 5:35 now.
These little quick out routes have been very effective for Oklahoma Baptist tonight at times. Send 3 receivers out to the right side this time. Play fake. Grauer's going to keep it. He's going to be dropped. Keith Ewing again in the backfield to make the stop.
Yeah, nice play by Ewing, just sticking with the play, not being faked out, immediately picking up on the fact that Grauer still had the ball and just wrapped him up. Got off the block, made the tackle. Little rodeo in him, huh?
Loss of a yard back to the 45. It's 3rd down and 3 now. Clock continues to roll. We're under 5 minutes to go in this game. Huskies trying to ride this one out and take a victory home. Here's a pass intended down the sideline for Eric DeLay. A flag came in from the backside. DeLay almost made an acrobatic catch.
There is a holding against Oklahoma Baptist.
Brings up a 4th down and 3 for Oklahoma Baptist at their own 45-yard line.
Nice defensive effort over there by Cody Moncure.
Well, they're stepping off 10 yards, so it must have been a holding penalty.
Yeah, they just accepted it. Almost surprised they accepted the penalty, but.
Well, the only thing you can imagine, at least I would think, is that they thought that if they left them there at the 45-yard line, Oklahoma Baptist might go for it on 4th down. So make it a little tougher here. And Grauer tries to set up a screen, and there's Garrett Dolan to bust it up.
Garrett Dolan out of Barbers Hill. That was key right there. The big pass rush that HBU had, you just knew you could see it. Here comes the screen, look out. But Dolan does a nice job of staying where he's supposed to be and making the big hit on Fields. Great play right there.
Very nice play, and it brings up 4th down and makes the coaches look like geniuses for taking that penalty, because now here comes the punting unit. Coons is on. Ball at the 33. He's standing back at about his 18 and gets a kick away. A wobbly spiral, going to bound out of bounds near the 30-yard line. Let's see where it angled out. They're going to actually give them the 35, and so that's where HBU will take over with 3:46 to go here in the final quarter of play.
Well, it's a historic night, and HBU is going to come away with a victory, but why not put a little more icing on the cake? And look who's coming to the game now. It's John Fleming. He was the original starter here for HBU, and a chance to show the fans what he can do as well.
Started the game at Sam Houston State and alternated throughout that one with Baker, and now on to finish this one up. There you see him out of Northland Christian. transfer from Abilene Christian University. Hands it off to Tanner Peavy, and Peavy out across the 35 to the 38. And don't think these guys who are out here now don't want to, or check it, that's Jackie Robinson, 25 instead of 29. So Robinson with his first carry of the night. And they want to make a good impression here in these last few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think about it, the next opponent for Houston Baptist is Abilene Christian, and that's, of course, where Jonathan Fleming played, as you mentioned. Give him a little game tape. This is what you could have had, that's what you just want to say. And as a quarterback, you're only a snap away.
Hands it off to Jackie Robinson again, turns the corner across the 40 to about the 44-yard line.
Jimmy Turner on the pushing him out of bounds right there. But I think there's no question about it. Better second half here. And if you look at it this way, HBU has outscored their last two opponents now 40 or 52 to nothing in the second half.
Now, I'm sure the coaches would say, let's outscore them 52 to nothing in the first half, too. Here's a handoff to Jackie Robinson again. Third consecutive carry for Robinson, and that time he's wrapped up by big Tyler Whitfield.
It's kind of a mystery why some teams have trouble, getting started in the first half, and really what it comes down to is it's about execution. I mean, if the coaches are going to tell you that we're not going to change the game plan up at halftime because you're just not simply executing, then you need to be executing better in the first half.
And don't you think that's probably to be expected with as young a team as the Huskies are?
Absolutely.
Slow to start in these contests. And
good point.
I'm sure that is no consolation to the coaches by any shape or form, but you got to think with a young team like this, it takes a while to learn how to get into the rhythm of a college football game.
Well, I mean, so many freshmen, and if you're not a freshman, you're probably a sophomore. So much youth on this HBU squad that you get to the point where not that you want to accept mistakes, but you understand why they happen, and all you can really do is try to help them grow as quickly as possible and get them ready. One of the neat things I think for HBU, also for the coaching staff, is there's a little bit of time in between each game to work on things. For example, they played August 31st against Sam Houston State. It was not pretty. They lost 74-0, but they had 2 weeks to get it right. Played Wayland Baptist on September 14th, and it was just a big turnaround. You often hear coaches talk about from game 1 to game 2, there'll be major changes, big turnaround. Well, here we are now, 2 more weeks off as they get ready for Oklahoma Baptist. It maybe not the best first half, but in the second half certainly much better, and they'll have 2 weeks off before they play Abilene Christian.
Duncan on to punt the ball away on 4th down and 2, and good snap from center, no pressure, and a high spiraling kick, good-looking kick. Comes down to Estes at the 15-yard line. He takes it out across the 25 and is pushed forward by Terrell Brown and company out across the 30. There's a flag on the play. Imagine that.
I think Terrence Hawkins also doing a nice job of just sprinting down the field and coming all the way across the field to make the tackle.
Got a holding going to be called on the return team, and so from the spot of the foul, they'll step off 10 yards there, and so the nice return by Eugene Estes will be wiped out.
So with 1:49 here to play, let's take a look at this punt one more time. This was a booming punt. So whatever the issues were early on for David Duncan, he seems to have righted the ship here in the second half. Some good punts.
See if we can see where this hold comes in to play.
Big hit right there, but
right there, maybe.
Yeah,
41 in the white jersey.
I tell you, there's a lot of collisions in special teams. You wonder why, for example, in the NFL, they've tried to almost take kickoffs out of the realm of possibilities of getting hurt by moving it up 5 yards.
Brower back out there, completes a pass to Cody Miller. Miller turns it up, picks up the first down, 12 yards on the gain on the first play from scrimmage in this series. Stops the clock as he gets out of bounds at the 36.
Crowd still here, alive and well, just really fired up. I don't think anybody is left. why not celebrate this first home victory in school history?
Grauer to throw again. This time comes to the near side, and new receiver out there into the ball game, and that is Corbin Cleveland, a freshman out of Norman, Oklahoma. Makes the catch out at the 44-yard line. An 8-yard carry or gain on that reception.
Some new faces on the field here for the HBU defense, and can't underestimate the feeling of getting out there and getting some playing time.
2nd and 2. Grauer rolls to his right this time, unloads and overthrows his intended receiver. That time looked like he was looking for Jacob Cheatham.
And I was just thinking also that on family night, family weekend here, you know there's a lot of families wanting to see their sons get a little action out there on the field and get a chance to play. So who's going to make the next big play here with 1:03 to play?
Well, it's nice, too, to know that the rain that we saw that was drenching this place a couple hours before game time blew through and didn't really factor into the game tonight at all. Here's a pass out intended for Miller again, and that one slips through his fingertips, incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th and 2.
Yeah, the HBU squad was out on the field, and they were going through their warm-ups, and it just downpoured on them. Almost makes you wonder if that wasn't, had something to do with why they got out to a slow start. They didn't get their practice in.
They didn't mess up my evening.
Didn't get the reps in.
Yeah.
No rain here during the game itself, so thank you, Mother Nature. We do appreciate that.
Grauer is going to stay out there on 4th down from the pistol formation. Wants to throw across the middle, and it is caught. Nice catch as Jalen Norris, I think, hit. Now check it, that's not Norris, but instead it is Calvin Thomas who's checked in. Made a big hit, but the receiver held on for the catch.
Yeah, good looking pass right here. And Calvin Thomas just tried to swat that ball away, but couldn't quite get around, and then tried to steal it from him there at the end.
Nick Pinkerton, a freshman wide receiver, made the catch that time, and here's a completion out to Corbin Cleveland, his 2nd catch in this series, and it's down to the 32.
Yeah, Terrell Brown the 3rd on the hit there, but I tell you the big hit was on Cale Grauer. He just got nailed in the backfield.
Saying why couldn't this game ended 30 seconds ago?
Yeah, down 28-3. Don't want to get injured in that situation. Yeah, he took a hit. Some good pressure there by HBU's defense. But what do you take from what you've seen in the second half? I mean, it's not just that the offense has played better than the special teams. The defense really played much better in the second half, and it was really the same thing last game out against Wayland Baptist, where they just played much better in the second half and pitched a shutout after they had given up 28 points in the first half last time out.
And I think, too, on top of that, you knew coming into this game you had a quarterback who was prone to get picked off. And in the first half, they had a couple of opportunities, got close but couldn't convert. And to come out in the second half and actually add to his interception number, I think they've got 3 now here in the second half. That's got to relieve a little bit of pressure from that defense.
I don't think there's any question that the HBU defense really they were the spark that this team needed. They made some big plays, and that's what the offense needed too.
Cale Grauer wants to throw. Here's a pick by Garrett Dolan. He's got a wall of blockers. Can he make it? Or will he be caught from behind? Inside the 10, 5, don't give up yet. He's into the end zone.
We've been trying to pull him in with a wheelbarrow. He didn't see the man come behind him, but nice job right there by Dolan. He has had an incredible game, made the big play earlier on defense on the screen pass, and now Garrett Dolan with a chance to go all the way for a touchdown. And I know Barbers Hill High School is very proud of him, and what a great run right there after the catch. He had to run like 80 yards.
Tell you what, I was worrying he might be celebrating a couple of yards too soon, but he managed to get it into the end zone now, and it's...
You see him hands on hips there, a little winded right now. He hasn't had to go 80 yards in a while.
34-3, extra point attempt is blocked. Still a live football, and Oklahoma Baptist is going to try to run it down, and they will, but will not be able to return it in the college game. That's a live football, and the defending team can return that for 2 points if they get it across the goal line, but it will stay 34-3 here with just 7 seconds to go. 3 defensive touchdowns tonight.
Yeah, that's been the story. The HBU defense has been sensational. Whatever they were doing wrong in the first half, they got it fixed. And they really actually played pretty well in the first half as well. I mean, they only gave up 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's huge. Plays like that are always, you like to see it. I mean, the crowd's all still here. They're still here because they still want to see a play like that.
Absolutely.
And if you're Dolan's family, they're all excited right now too. It's more than just saying that he made a hit on a screen pass. He now has a touchdown. I mean, some offensive guys can't say that.
34-3. The Huskies will go to 2-1 on the season. Get set for Abilene Christian in a couple of weeks. I want to remind you, we'll be there if you can't make it downtown, but we do invite you to join us. Go log on to hbuhuskies.com. High end over end kick's going to come down to Eugene Estes, and he will take it up the numbers across the 30 to the 40, 42-yard line, and whistle blows with 2 seconds to go and more flags fly. Terrence Hawkins on the tackle. On special teams and a little extracurricular activity out in the middle of the field.
I've always wondered why, if you're down like 34-3, why you would even talk any smack towards the other team. But Philip Spess was kind of doing the feed me look right there as he was running off the field. Both teams, I think, got flagged.
For the Huskies, Josh Irwin kind of got suckered into the penalty there, and as he came off the field, Coach Shealy was expressing, it looked like, a little dissatisfaction with that. But
and with 2 seconds left, you hate to kind of see something like that, just finish it out. We got word that the players here, when the game ends, they're going to sing the alma mater here with all the fans and faithful here, and get a chance to thank them for sticking around. And hey, why not? They're all here standing up, and in a 34-3 game, a lot of them could have walked out of here a while ago, but they want to stick around and see this one finished off.
And this is the time to establish some traditions like that in the post game. Here's a pitch back to Fields. He carries it to the near sideline. He'll be run out of bounds, and the clock will run out on Oklahoma Baptist, and the HBU Huskies will win their first ever home game. 34-3 is the final, and they will move their season record to 2-1.
So a well-deserved victory here for HBU, and a much better second half as they rattle off 34 unanswered points to win it 34-3. Very impressive here towards the end, Lonnie.
And you mentioned, Jeff, a little while ago that they had outscored their opponents at that point 52-0 in the second half of the last 2 games, and it winds up actually, by the time the second half of this one ends, being 62-0 now that they've outscored their opponents here. Our check at 58-0. They've outscored their opponents here in the second half of the last 2 games.
Well, no question about it. Much better here in the second half, and they get a victory, and they're 2-1 now.
Yeah, and big game coming up against Abilene Christian. When we come back, we will put a wrap on this one, though. A nice 34-3 win, big second half for the Huskies. You're watching HBU Huskies football, presented by the Baptist Church Loan Corporation on the Legacy Sports Network.
If you're looking for the best selection of crawfish on this side of Louisiana, the Louisiana Crawfish Hut is the place to go. Our seafood selection will make you go home completely satisfied with our dishes, such as our oyster louie and hut platter. not to mention desserts that will cure your sweet tooth craving. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut offers any type of atmosphere you're looking for, whether day or night, 7 days a week with the best service you will find around. Come in and watch your favorite team on any of our 16 TVs. The Louisiana Crawfish Hut, located off Highway 90 in Crosby, offering the best that Louisiana has to offer here in Texas.
Final score tonight from Crusaders Stadium here on the campus of Straight Jesuit College Prep is 34-3. Your HBU Huskies big winners tonight, and all thanks to a big second half. We talked about the defensive spark, and really they were invaluable tonight for this Huskies team.
Hey, 3 defensive touchdowns. I've seen a lot of football. I don't think I've seen 3 defensive touchdowns in one half ever. And that was very impressive. They gave the spark to that Husky offense and special teams. And you know, the fact that they scored 34 unanswered points, again, I want to know what's going on at halftime. This sure seems like Vic Shealy's got the potion at halftime, that formula, because he gets them fired up, and they play much better in that second half. Did the same thing against Wayland Baptist, outscoring them 24-0 in their last contest in the second half to win that one 52-28, and they win here big 34-3 final.
You know, and as good as the offense was against Wayland Baptist, they did struggle to get things going here tonight. So it was very important for the defense, who really struggled in Plainview, to come up big tonight.
Very fitting. That's how you find out what kind of team you have. Do they have, you know, guys that can step up defensively, offensively, special teams? They got a little bit of all that in the second half. Kadarius Baker played better in the second half as well. Still like what they're doing on the ground. They seem to run the ball really well. Bell had a very impressive game here tonight, of course, and that's the key. If they can run the football, stay balanced, get the ball out to some of those legendary tall receivers that they have, big things can happen here for HBU. I mean, we know it's the inaugural season. We know they're only playing 7 games, but nobody said we couldn't go win 6 out of 7. Hey.
Absolutely. And that's going to start, they want to continue this against Abilene Christian. And how big a boost is this defensive effort going to carry over to a tough Abilene Christian opponent in a couple of weeks?
Well, I think it's going to have to carry over. The defense, they were sort of the charge, the batteries of fuel charging them up for HBU. But maybe this time around the offense needs to realize they can't wait until the second half to get going. Or in this case, they can't wait as a team when it comes to the second half, because Abilene Christian they have a lot of history. They've won some championships there. But when you think about the kind of football that they play out there at Abilene Christian, they are loaded with talent, and they're going to come here to BBVA Compass Stadium here in downtown Houston. HBU fans need to show up and be proud. It's a 7:30 kickoff on the 12th, and it'll be a lot of fun, and we'll see if they can play a full game.
Hey, and if you can't make it out that night, and we do invite you to look for tickets at hbuhuskies.com. But if not, you can join us for the audio broadcast that night, and we'll have all the play-by-play action for you. Been a great night here at Crusader Stadium. For Jeff Power, I'm Lonnie King. For the entire crew that brought you this one, we thank you for being a part of it as well, and we'll see you down the road. The Huskies with a 34-3 win tonight. So long.